All right, we be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom, and hola and namaste. Yes,
Hello, hello.
guys, look at this. Who's
Good
that?
morning.
We have
Good
a new friend.
morning. Good morning.
Yeah. Oh, what is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've watched Medea a little bit too many times.
Okay. So, guys, that's Elisa. Elisa, who like introduce yourself. Tell people you are, why you're here, and before we get started.
Hi, everybody. My name's Elisa Sanchez. I'm the host of Between Politics. If you've never heard of me before, that's because today is my first day. So pop over and give me a like, ring my bell. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for having me
Yes,
here.
guys. Yeah, guys, the link to her channel that just started is in the description. Can you guys check if the link is working? And also, when you check the link that the link is working, make sure you also subscribe when you're there, because she's just getting started and we're trying to get her subscribers. Okay, so
Yes,
especially,
and
yeah, go on.
and thoroughly check all the links for all the channels in the description, and really make sure the
Yeah.
subscribe button works as well.
Yes, thank you.
'Cause
Yes.
sometimes the link works, but the subscribe button doesn't. So, like, do both.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
you have to ring the bell. Make sure you ring that bell. Smash that like
Yes.
button
Also,
extra hard.
check that the bell works as well.
Oh my god. Okay. We should. We should.
All right.
Thank you for
We
checking
should,
all
we
of
should mention that Elisa is a hello person and a hola person.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we got to keep it straight, when various different panelists are here. What greetings are we saying?
I should put a Puerto Rican sticker next to my Goku back here.
Oh,
So
by the
you're
way, we
also a
already got
konnichiwa
a
person.
Okay, guys, we Joseph just became a member, and also Sherry saying "Love you, Elisa." There you go. You already have
Aw,
your
I
fan
love you,
base.
Sherry. Thank you.
Yeah, look
Sherry is
at this.
awesome.
Yeah, you just got started, and you already have your fan base being developed. This is great. Off to a good start. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, and thank you, Joseph, for becoming a member. All right, guys. Did you guys watch what Scott Besson said regarding, like, are we all here up to date regarding what happened and
I haven't seen
the
it.
announcements?
Is
Okay,
this
okay.
from
So
today?
let's go. No, this is from yesterday.
Oh.
Um,
Then
it
yes,
was
but
it
we
was
should probably
big.
play it again. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's play some of it.
We're already seeing results. Over the weekend, comments from Iranian leadership clearly acknowledged the effect of this campaign, and nations that facilitate any interactions with the regime should quickly heed our message. Those who stand with the United States will reap the rewards of our partnership. Those who tether themselves to the Iranian regime should expect to share in the isolation of a withering regime. Teams from Treasury, State, and the US military are now meeting with their global counterparts to tell them that the United States expects action. Every country has a defined timeline to shut down activities we have identified. If they do not take action, we will do so unilaterally through Treasury authorities. For example, every branch of Bank Melay must be shuttered and dark. And let me be clear, any entity that facilitates money laundering on behalf of Iran will be removed from the US dollar system. The clock just started ticking. The new sectoral sanctions determinations issued today target 5 of Iran's most vital lifelines that it exploits in other countries: digital assets, technology, gold, aviation, and shipping. These measures broaden secondary sanctions risk for anyone foolish enough to continue conducting business with this regime, and will accelerate the speed with which we pursue them. As I speak, Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control is also sanctioning over 60 entities, individuals, and vessels around the world that enable the Iranian regime to procure illicit nuclear and missile technology, conduct cyber operations, and generate oil revenue. This is a sustained campaign to collapse every last option for Iran. Let there be no ambiguity as to the position of the United States. An economic engagement of any kind with this murderous regime will expose those responsible to the full reach of American power.
Thoughts?
He's just so competent. Like, I can't, like, he looks like he's there to do the job. He knows the ins and outs of the all the ways they launder money, and like he seems to be really thorough, and I like Scotty B.
Did he say Bank Malay? I thought he said Bank Malay. And
Yeah, it's the mispronunciation.
so what is it supposed to be?
Armin?
Is that Banque Milli Iran? Milli.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it's a national bank. Is Milli means national. It's the main bank in Iran.
Oh, okay, all right. That confused me for. Okay, got it.
Yes. So here's my before Elisa, jump in whenever you want. If you want to add anything,
yeah.
go ahead. Right.
I just wanted to remind people real quick that Scotty B was the he learned from the best, George Soros. A lot of people were really nervous about him originally when Trump appointed him, but all those skills that he learned from Soros, he's now using for the benefit of America. So that's another W for the Trump team.
So he's well versed in how to in nefarious uses of money, so he knows how to counter them. Is what you're saying?
Yes,
Market
exactly.
manipulation.
That's yes, the art of manipulation. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think he's also Armin. I think he's also listening to you and Ali's streams. See, he seems to be getting the regime chatter. And,
So
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, maybe, yeah. I'm just kidding. Okay, well, thank you. But two things that jumped out is because, I mean, I already mentioned this before. I'm going to mention it again. I was listening to see if he's going to mention China, and he didn't mention China, but he was obviously talking about China without mentioning China. And honestly, I would have been happier if he did mention China, even though everybody's going to tell me like it's obviously a lot of it about China. But the fact that they weren't mentioned by name, it makes it a little bit weaker because when Oman, the Trump administration said they're going to bomb Oman and they mentioned Oman by name. The Trump administration is at an economic war with Canada right now, and they don't shy away from mentioning Canada. They mention Canada when they want to attack Canada. They mention Canada, right?
Yeah.
But with China, to me, it demonstrates that China has more influence, that you need to be concerned about offending them. The fact that you're clearly talking about them, obviously, like a lot of the things he said is clearly about China, but no actual mention of China is like you're trying not to offend them and be too directly aggressive towards them, which shows that China must have relatively to other countries more power to react, that you're shying away from mentioning them. In fact, the first reporter that asked the question after, and the third reporter asked about like, does this apply to China? And then in response, he said, well, it applies to everybody. And like he gave a general response, which is like an obvious yes, but he also didn't single them out. But I think they should be singled out. They should be singled out because this is mostly about them, right? Like, all countries are on one side when it comes to suffocating the Islamic Republic, and China is on one. And China, this is 99% about China. Like, if everybody stops trading with the Islamic Republic, but China continues trading with the Islamic Republic, it's not as significant as China stopped trading with the Islamic Republic, but other people you stop putting you don't do as much pressure on all these other countries. Right? China is a lifeline of the Islamic Republic, both in oil and non-oil trade base. So if you don't fix the China problem with the Islamic Republic, then you haven't created a complete isolation. So that's one issue. And then there's a second issue, but you guys, if you want to react to that first.
So
Yes.
I somewhat disagree. I think specifically because of like the China being a competitor to U.S. hegemony, If you say it outright, it increases the chances that they're not going to capitulate, because there is like a pride thing. Like if they
Mm.
give up to an explicit call out by the U.S., then that actually ruins their like national pride and the kind of things they're trying to do.
But
And
that's the
if
same
you
thing
do
with
it
Canada.
covertly,
Then why are you calling out Canada by name like that? So
Canada, to with all due respect to Canada,
anyway,
it's not
okay, go
quite
on.
on the level of
Yes.
Canada and its famous Lake America. It's not. So Trump just posted a Truth Social post where he said, I want to rename Lake Ontario to Lake America. That's what I was referring to. With all due respect to Canada, it's not quite in the same ballpark, and especially it doesn't have the same level of national pride.
True. But that's my point, though. That demonstrate that you need to be more careful with how you deal with China, because China is it's a demo. You're right. I mean, maybe it's the right policy, but to me, it's also a demonstration that unlike these other countries, like the UAE had to submit to the United States, right? Canada will eventually have to submit to the United States or really suffer the consequences, right? But this whole being careful with not offending them shows that China is relatively much more difficult to deal with than these. So not mentioning them by name might be the correct strategy, but also it demonstrates that China is a bigger deal than these other countries and harder to force to do what the United States wants.
I mean,
Yeah.
so first of all, it is. I'll say one thing and then I'll let you guys talk. It is factually the case that they're more difficult to get to do what the U.S. wants. It's also like an adversary of the U.S. as opposed to the other countries that are at least seemingly allies. And so if you call them out, that's actually like, if an ally calls me out, that's one thing and says you should do this. But if an adversary calls me out and then I do it, that's humiliation. And you'd much rather they actually do it than humiliate them at this juncture. Because if they actually do it, and then the regime falls, then the empire that China was trying to build really loses a lot of its steam, because they lose the foothold in the Middle East. US becomes the hegemon in the Middle East. Russia is on its last leg, and they're not really allied with Russia anyway. They're sort of taking them for all they've got at this point, because Russia's desperate. But China becomes way more isolated on the global stage, and so that's much more powerful than just calling it out, like on the above the table portion of diplomacy.
Okay. Before we go to Sid, I just want people to see Elisa's channel. She now has 7 subscribers, guys. 7 subscribers.
Woo!
So,
Thank you, everybody.
yes, guys.
Let's go.
Let's see if we could get her to 10 soon. So again, the link is in the description. We're going to keep monitoring her channel and the growth of her subscribers. But yeah, okay, Sid, you wanted to say something?
Looks like I got to run actually right now. Sorry. I'll be back. I'll be back very shortly.
Okay, so Sid is going to go take
Sorry
care
about
of
that.
something, and then he'll be back. No worries, no worries.
Real quick,
go on.
I just thought of
Elisa?
something, because you and Ali talked about this before, but in addition to the fact that Trump has never been afraid to call out China in the past, Xi is visiting Washington, D.C. in September 23rd to the 25th. Does that play into maybe the reservation of leaving China out of this statement from yesterday?
I mean, I would imagine so. I don't know what Armin thinks, but I think there is a careful diplomatical play with China. You also don't want them to attack Taiwan, and it seems as though. So I recently started following some China-related channels that I recommended them yesterday, but like it seems to be that she is getting ready to step down, surprisingly, and also that Taiwan will be postponed into the far future. But you don't want, if that's the case, then you don't want to antagonize them into doing something with Taiwan.
That's very interesting if true. I'd never heard that before. That's really interesting.
So I'll find the channel and I'll post it here again. The channel I follow for China. It's a Chinese expatriate. So it's the same kind of channel that Armin has as like for Iran, but for China. So
Awesome.
it's Lay's
We need to
Real
get
Talk,
some-
LEI.
So at some
Yeah.
point, we need to get some people on our panels where they're experts on China stuff. At some point,
I think we should try to find a way to contact her. I think should be a fascinating addition. We'd do like a China special with her.
nice. Yes.
Her who? Who are we talking about?
Lay. So she's called Lay.
Lee. Oh, you know her? You have her contact information?
No, but maybe she has like. Surely there are ways to contact her.
So-
Yeah, for sure.
All
No,
right, guys.
she's great. She's an expert. She's so knowledgeable. I love her.
Yeah.
So guys, we need
I love
to
her.
make sure that we go over the stuff that we want to talk about, right? So let me just highlight this. Dr. Robert is saying, just remember to fire up Guy's stream to show him some appreciation. Yes, guys, make sure you subscribe to Guy as well. The link is in the description. I just wanted to highlight this as well. Sean is saying Trump is poking the panda quietly. Back channel talks are likely more fierce. Yes, I do agree. Just when I point out that I wish they could mention China, is not it doesn't mean that what they did is not the best strategy, right? I'm saying that the fact that what they're doing is the best strategy demonstrates how influential China is, and obviously I don't want the enemies of United States to be that influential, right? Like I would rather the United States to be able to push China back even more aggressively. But I'm not saying like what they're doing is wrong, right? It's just a demonstration of how worried about the CCP we have to be.
Yeah.
Wait,
can I actually
go on.
the previous comment that you talked about? So the thing is, if you can open the stream at the very least also on my channel, because my subscriber count is close to 1,000, but my watch time is less than 2,000. So I'm not even halfway there in watch time.
Yes, I will do that. Just want to make sure we get through the news as well. Yeah, let me just let me see. Okay, guys, this is a crime that Guy's channel is not still at 1,000 subscribers. So please help us get a Guy to 1,000. So this is his channel, right? The link is in the description, right? All right. So let's go.
I'm subscribed to you, Guy. I'm helping. I rang the bell too.
All right. All right, guys. How about this? During the show, we will have certain sections where we will talk about people subscribing to your channel, okay? But then when I'll tell you when that is. But during the show, we go through the news, okay? So let me look at the news segment. So breaking: China warns U.S. against any attempt to disrupt its relations with Iran by threatening sanctions. China will take all necessary measures to firmly safeguard its own rights and interests. I mean, this is probably
China's cooperation with Iran.
Oh, it's not in Chinese. Fantastic.
制裁措施。China's cooperation with Iran is conducted within the framework of international law and should not be disrupted. China is closely following the developments and will take all necessary measures to firmly safeguard its rights and interests. Next one, please.
Okay, so that was pretty standard response, I guess.
Yeah, it was also exactly what the caption said. There wasn't any extra information.
If there's anything new there, yeah. Yeah, so I think there's nothing new there, right? That's what we'd expected them to say. Yeah. Here, we got a super chat. Draw the line 731 is saying, Armin, do you think that you speak emotionally for Iranians wanting China directly called out? Do you think you speak emotionally for Iranians?
I think they're saying is it an emotional, like emotionally you want China to be called out for being complicit in the regime's crimes more so than this is a logical, like this is what strategically should be done. I think that's the.
I think I'm like, when I'm talking about China, I feel like I'm having a very pro-American. If there's anything emotional about it, I think it's actually more my pro-Americanism in me. that makes me speak like that about China. If there, I mean, if I'm speaking emotionally rather than logically, then I probably wouldn't be able to tell myself, because I'm obviously trying to always adjust for that and make sure that I'm saying something logically, right? So it's hard for when I'm saying it in the moment, I'm always doing a cost benefit analysis for the sake of fighting for liberty, right? To me, emotions are the goal. Emotions are important, but logically thinking about them is a tool. So I think it's illogical to take emotions out of your calculation, because trying to achieve the best emotions is the whole point of using logic. Like, what is the point of logic other than increasing well-being? And what is well-being other than having superior emotions? The problem is when you use emotions as a tool rather than the goal, but emotions cannot be factored out. The whole point of using logic is to get superior emotions. But
And
if
actually,
you're asking, but if you're asking me if this is for the sake of the Iranian people that I want to hold China, that I want China's influence to be less, is no. It's for the sake of. For me, I think logically that makes sense for the whole world. Doesn't that go on? Guy, you wanted to add something?
now I wanted to add that actually I think it's, I don't know if this adds or subtracts for your point, but actually logic, like at the end of the day, logic requires some sort of what's arguably emotion or intuition. Like you can't have logic, just pure logic, because you need to have axioms, and the axioms have to be reliant on whether like they just feel right to you at the end of the day. So logic is not pure ever. It always has an emotional factor in it.
Yeah, and I think like when people say that you're being emotional is because sometimes it's because they can't tell me why I'm wrong. They can't break down what the flaw in my logic. So they say you're being emotional because they can't pinpoint where I am mistaken. That's sometimes when I feel like people mention that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're doing it, but sometimes I'm
No,
like,
no.
if there's a flaw in my logic, then point out where the flaw is, right? And then I will try to
Sometimes,
adjust based on
so I mean, sometimes the flaw isn't in the logic itself, but it's in the underlying assumptions girding the logic. And then it's like, well, we just disagree on the assumptions in a way that isn't something you can logically derive necessarily. And
no.
sometimes like
If your
that's where
assumptions are wrong, you could logically show that the assumptions are wrong. So you could do that. But anyways,
no,
getting
but only
philosophical.
based on specific. This is a philosophical discussion, but only based on specific axioms. If we disagree on the axioms, then there's nothing you can do about that.
Well, I disagree, but I don't want to make this philosophical. There, you can change people's axioms by logically arguing over them. But thank you. So, yeah. So the answer to this is that for me, this is more about America's dominance that I want, rather than that benefits everybody, including the Iranian people. And I think
Armin,
if you think about emotionally, Iranian people have more of a negative feelings towards Russia than China. But yeah, go on.
Armin, this is an interesting comment. Everything we own in the U.S. says made in China. The U.S. Treasury needs to be careful in their language towards China. What do you think about that?
That's I mean, that's exactly. There's United States, and I agree with that. I'm not saying that that Scott Besson said anything wrong, but I'm saying the fact that China is this influential is something that the fact that United States has to consider that is something that proves that the Chinese influence is a lot. It's something that is more difficult to deal with. But the solution for that is not for the Chinese influence to be lower, because we want international trade. The solution to that is for China to because we want the global economies to trade with each other and have be interconnected and be able to have this global trade, because that creates prosperity. But the problem is that this is happening with the government of that is anti-freedom, anti-liberty, right? So I don't want China to become economically less influential. I want China to become the influence of China's economy to be under a leadership that is not this much anti-liberty globally. That's what we should be pushing for.
Yeah, and well, the other important piece of that is like, yeah, I want us to be able to trade, but more importantly, I want us to be able to make our own things at home. I think that's for me, that's the part of the Trump sort of economic plan that I care about the most is rebuilding the defense industrial base and rebuilding manufacturing here in America because that's a critical part of being a sovereign country.
Yeah, so that's a topic that we could talk about later. I don't like economic self-dependence unless it's about
Critical security.
military critical security stuff, like very limited stuff. Yeah, unless it's about that. Honestly, I can't think of anything else that I would agree with that. Unless it's about critical security on a very limited stuff. I think I'm a very pro free trade. But that's a topic that we could discuss, and it's good that we have different views on the panel regarding that because we could talk about it in detail later. Yeah,
Sure.
I'm a very free market capitalist person. I do understand that there's certain things that that you need to keep at home and not share with other people, but I want that to be as limited as possible. In my opinion, yes.
Yeah,
but you can see people
it's more so like for me, it's more so the fact that you can't rely on like J.P. Morgan Chase to fund when internal improvements like railroads, bridges, power plants, things like that. So that's where like national credit would come into play.
Well, I don't want to. We're moving away from the Iran topic. We could talk about that later, maybe in our
sure.
group call. Yes, but I trust corporations more than I trust the government when it comes to the economy, by a huge margin. But anyways, but you can see people in the chat are agreeing with you. So you already are building your own fan base. People are saying absolutely, Elisa. Bobism saying Elisa 100%.
Harmony, I agree with
you guys, if you think I'm right, then please go to my channel and like and subscribe.
Yes, the link
bump,
is
bump those rookie numbers up. It's my first day.
Yes. Okay, there we go.
Even if you think Elisa's wrong, you should subscribe to her channel.
Yes. See, Jose saying I'm now subscribed to Armin, Ali, Guy, Monkey, and Elisa's channels twice.
Woo-hoo!
Yes, guys. Also, yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
fantastic.
Jose.
Yes, guys, subscribe to all the channels, and also, guys, Monkey is going to be back. He's dealing with some local issues. He's going to be back. He's not slacking. Go support his channel as well. Link is in the description. Guys, we do need to adjust the balance of promotion to content a little bit here, okay? So I think 50% of the show so far has been subscribe. So that's not very effective, okay? So we have to be more careful with that. Boboism, thank you for the super chat, saying G is handling Muslims correctly. I don't agree with that.
I disagree with that.
I disagree with that. Yes.
Yeah, I think
Wait,
forced
what does he mean by
sterilization.
this?
I think if there's reports of forced sterilization. There's reports of forced marriages. There
concentration camps.
Concentration camps. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's quite draconian.
Yes.
And
anti-liberty.
Yes, and so I mean, Islam poses unique challenges to societies where it takes a foothold, and in particular to open societies like ours. But we have to be very delicate about how we handle it. We can't let Islam run our lives, but we can't abandon liberty.
Yes. Abandon liberty doesn't mean we're abandoning the rule of law, okay? Because some people think that liberty, rule of law is important for liberty. There needs to have maximum liberty. You need to have limitations on liberty, right? Full freedom is not what we're advocating for, and protecting your borders, protecting your sovereignty, and protecting your nation and state from toxic ideas spreading is important, but you have to have liberty. And concentration camps, forced marriages, sterilizations, and forced education, it will backfire. It will not kill the ideology. It will spread the ideology even more. In fact,
Agreed.
and in fact, in attempting to kill a monster, you have created a bigger one when you try to do that.
Yeah, I prefer deportations. Deportation is something that we ought to be using. And this is just not just like rounding up Muslims and deporting them, right? But there's so many instances, so many examples of Muslim Americans, for example. Let's say like in mosques, preaching like extremely anti-American, pro-terror rhetoric. And I just don't see why those people should be here. I really don't.
I mean, Israel does not do that to its Muslim population, and I think Israel gets it right. Israel's getting it right.
Deportation is the moderate solution. I hear that phrase often.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that our overtone window is not big enough to acknowledge what the alternatives to deportation are often.
Well, that is the point though, because it's like we're just not saying the quiet part out loud, but that's what's implied for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Let me quickly. I'll do the Iran stuff really quickly because I do want to go to this very important Jesse Water interview with Abdul El Sayed. That is a huge, yeah. So, but let me just quickly go through the Iran stuff. Let me see. You guys know Scott Jennings, right? A lot of people love him. Let me see what he says over here.
I know Scott Jennings.
This announcement.
Yeah.
And I believe this announcement may confirm something that many in our political class refuse to acknowledge. The United States has won the war against Iran. Wars are won when one side achieves its strategic objectives and the other loses the ability to achieve its own. Iran entered this war with four great pillars of strength: its nuclear program, its missiles and drones, its regional terror network, and its ability to hold the world economy hostage through the Strait of Hormuz. Every one of those pillars has been severely damaged or outright destroyed. But Democratic Senator Chris Murphy sees it differently. Listen to him on Meet the Press this weekend, Cut 7.
Donald Trump has lost this war. America is weaker. Iran is stronger. The price to reopen the strait increases by the day.
Even though Iran has lost the war, they haven't lost their public relations agency, I see. Democratic Party, it seems, is unified in its desire for the American people to believe that we have lost this war, even though it's clear the opposite is true. Has Iran built a nuclear weapon? No, and they couldn't build one for decades based on the destruction wrought by the United States and Israel. Has Iran defeated the United States military? No, quite the opposite. The Navy is fully sunk. The Army is decimated. Has it driven the United States Navy out of the Strait of Hormuz? No, our ships travel at will. Is Iran able to stop oil from moving in and out of the strait? No, in fact, millions of barrels of oil are transiting the Strait of Hormuz every day, more and more every day. In fact, the Iranian military has been devastated. Its missile and drone attacks have dramatically declined. Its economy is disintegrating, and its neighbors are aligning against it. Yet Chris Murphy and Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker and virtually every other Democrat want you to believe that America has lost. This is what Trump hatred has done to the Democratic Party. But there is something deeply wrong with allowing partisan hatred to make you so emotionally invested in American failure, especially when that leads you to openly lie to the American people about what's actually going on here. And
any thoughts?
Yeah,
On point?
I think that it's really important that we continue to point out how if you are anti-Trump, if you agree with, how do I put this? How do I put that? I'm trying to figure out how to say this on YouTube without getting into trouble. But basically, if you want bad things to happen to Trump or his family, you have something in common with the Islamic Republic, and that's not a good look. We got to continue driving that point home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay, so yeah, I want to say, like, I was listening to this clip and I was on board up until the very end, where he said he said something like, "This is what Trump hatred has done." So I think that that is the wrong analysis. I think that the methods of narrative forming long predated Trump. Okay, long predated Trump. So this is a decades-long multi-generational effort to infiltrate our institutions and to dictate narrative. So there is a kind of we know that there's TDS and there's this irrational Trump hatred, and that impacts the discourse as well. So I'm not really disputing that part. But it sounded like from what he was saying, which I'm criticizing now, but I'm largely on board with, right? It sounds like from what he was saying that this is downstream from Trump and people's reactions to Trump. I do think that that's the wrong analysis.
I partially agree. I do think this is the kind of political theater that you're always going to get. The opposition is never going to say anything good about the coalition, about the people in power, or almost never. And like that's not necessarily due to foreign intervention. Having said that, I do think it has been exacerbated over the last, let's say, decade or decade and a half. In that, like, it used to be that you would try to go above petty politics and give credit where it's due, but not really like give credit where it's due in a way that's politically expedient. And I think the hyperpolarization of politics, which is due to foreign interference, at least partially, has made that not a viable thing to do as a politician. If a Democrat comes out and doesn't say Trump is a failure, the world is a failure, they're going to have hell to pay. And I think that's a problem with how our politics operate now.
To me, it's a distinction without a difference, because the left is anti-America, and they have been anti-America since the 1930s. And Trump is the most pro-American president that we've had in my lifetime. I mean, I'm a millennial, but Trump is, it doesn't get any more pro-America than Trump. So if you hate America, then you hate Trump. It's a distinction without a difference. Does that make sense?
I disagree. I think there are, like, you can be pro-America and still have problems with Trump for other reasons. He's not just the essence of being pro-America.
Let me be more specific then. You're allowed to criticize Trump. That's not the same thing as being a terrorist and wanting him, destroyed. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I would. So yeah, I think we're kind of on the same page here. I would absolutely make that distinction. I mean, what I really resent is anti-Americanism from within our own institutions, right? I think that is a real cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And my position, and I think that Elisa is agreeing with that, is that this is a longstanding move within the institutions to become increasingly more and more anti-American. And this is kind of what Scott Jennings is talking about, right? So that they are, our media institutions are slanting the information such that America looks bad. And it's because they want America to look bad. So one problem is that they want America to look bad. And the other problem is that they lie in order for America to look bad. And so what purpose are they serving? Are they helping us? No, they're not helping us.
Right. Speaking of wanting to harm the president, the next segment is very directly tied to that. And I don't know how much of this I could play. So I don't know if you guys heard, but the Islamic Republic just yesterday placed $10 million bounty on Barron Trump. Following the release, it says, following the release of the IRGC link video tracking Melania Trump, IRGC Media and State TV Channel 3 have now leaked confidential locations and movement logs for Baron Trump, declaring him within striking range. And this is the video, and I don't know if I can play it on YouTube or not. They specifically go over where, like, giving information of where he stays, how much time he spends, the time in his school, the fact that when he goes to school, there are people that are wearing plain clothes to protect him, that they sit in the class. He games most of the day, and he goes on Discord to communicate with his friends, and all of the information that you need to go after him in a lot of detail in this video. Like, they have his profile accounts, and they explain all of this and his gaming habits and everything, where he eats, everything, to try to provide information to how to. Again, YouTube, we do not endorse this. We're against this. We're just reporting the news. So they are putting a $10 million bounty on him, with a lot of detail on how to reach him. Do you think it's safe for me to play the video or no?
I think not. I think
I don't.
we got the gist, and I think it's going to be a risk to actually play it. Like,
People
there's a
can
lot
go
of
watch it on
information.
their own. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of information, where he lives, what his day-to-day looks like, apparently what he does on Xbox. Like, there's a lot of uncomfortable levels of information that they apparently have gathered about him that, I mean, now is going to change. He's for sure going under Secret Service supervision, if he wasn't already. But yeah, this is highly uncomfortable, and this is I can't imagine Trump will allow this to go unanswered in some way. Like, he's going to collapse. I hope that this will say, okay, these guys have to go.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking, and I think I have the answer to it, but I wanted to see what you guys think first, right? Because this is also what, I'm going to be on the news in a couple of hours, and this is the one thing that they want to ask me about, right? Mm-hmm. And I have a theory for why this happened, but some people are asking, like, are these people stupid? Are these people suicidal? Like, at a time that they're coming at you this aggressively, why, if you going after the man's son, isn't that the most shortest way? Isn't that the most shortest way to convince Trump to come and just end all of you? Why would you do this? Like, are they this stupid? So what do you guys think?
So can I answer?
Yeah.
First of all, by the way, they also did this yesterday. It came out, or 2 days ago, that apparently they also tried to assassinate one of Netanyahu's sons, presumably the one who lives in Miami.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, they didn't post a video about it. They just tried to do it. And I think saying that this is suicidal doesn't appreciate enough how effed they are already right now. Like, if they don't do this, they're done. If they do this, there is the off chance that Trump will get scared for his family and capitulate to what they want. It's an off chance, but it's better than what they have right now.
I was about to say, I'm sorry, finish your thought. Finish your thought. Sorry.
And also, another thing is that this kind of thing will play very well for however many people who are left supporting the regime, and like, oh yeah, this is us fighting back. This is us showing Trump, like, you killed our supreme leader. Well, we're going to go after your family. And so I think for both of those reasons, it's the rational play for them to make if they have this kind of information. And it's better than using the information, because if they use this information, but like by actually getting someone to assassinate him secretly, then there's a short-term benefit for internally, but there's not going to be anything left for that benefit to accrue to. If you threaten doing it, then you get that internal benefit, and potentially the off chance of the Americans getting scared and capitulating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you touched on
I have
something.
a slight different take, but go, Elisa, go ahead, and then Sid also after Elisa. But I have a slightly different take. But go on.
No, Guy, you glossed over something earlier in your statement about the IRGC. Their avenues of force projection have been degraded so severely that this is one of the few things that they can do to project force in a really messed up kind of way, right? And also, like, going after, like, they went after Ivanka. It's like they're going after the man, like the man's not just his family, but specifically his daughter, like his wife. Like, they're trying to uh fundamentally like crush a man in the most severe way you can crush somebody, you know. But like, what else can they do? They have no military, they have no economy, and the life is being squeezed out of them like a boa constrictor. So it's like, what else can they do?
Okay.
Yeah,
Sid, do you
so-
have anything before Amir comes back?
Yeah. So
Go
yeah,
ahead, Sid.
I just wanted to say, I mean, I think, if anyone is looking at this and is disturbed by it, I guess like my reaction is that this is what they do. This is very, very consistent with their ideology, right? There's nothing here. There's no action here that represents a sort of red line for them. And so this is what we have to sort of recognize who we're fighting against. So I don't see this so much as like, I mean, maybe it is in a way a kind of an escalation or a signaling. But yeah, I mean, I think that the Islamic Republic would be happy to take out some, prominent family members of important leaders at any time, just for the PR victory. So and because of that, right? Because of that, the responsibility is ultimately on our security, to look after important people and and family members at all times, because this is not so much a reaction to the conflict as it is a representation of their pure intent.
Yeah, but it has to make strategic sense, okay? And to me, they want Trump to attack because and they're trying to poke him enough so that he attacks. This is the regime is fragmented. There's one part that is really trying to go back to negotiations and give Americans what they want so that the economic isolation stops. There's another side that thinks that escalation is the answer because they're dying right now. The isolation, they're not going to be able to survive this economic blockade, and they have to break the blockade. And the Americans are not interested in a deal, and the Americans are fooling them with a deal. And every time they try to do a deal is exactly when Americans came and surprised them and hit them where it hurts the most, right? Operation Midnight Hammer happened in the middle of negotiation. Ali Khamenei was killed in the middle of negotiation. For decades, in the Islamic Republic, under the so-called reformers, tried to deal with the Americans, and the Americans just kept on increasing their demands, in their opinion, right? And they tell you that we are interested in a deal, but they're not. Every time you get closer to what they want, they see how desperate you are for a deal, and they just increase their demands, and you will never actually reach a deal. And the only way to try to get out of this isolation is to cause military cost to the Americans, but you can't do that right now because the people in charge within the Islamic Republic are not going to go full out. So given that our people are not going to attack, we need to get the Americans to attack so that then we have to respond. So then for them, this is a trap. For them, this video is not even about taking out Baron Trump. For them, this is a video that to poke at Trump, to attack them so that they could go back to war, because they think that because America doesn't want to go to war, because they have low oil reserves right now, because they don't want to have inflation before the midterms, because they're low on missile interceptors. If Trump attacks the Islamic Republic right now, they think it would be an emotional decision rather than a logical one. And they're trying to make a video like this where Trump makes an emotional decision and goes to attack and cause, so that they could actually make the economic blockade costly. And even if that doesn't look like a good option, it's a relatively better option compared to the situation they're in right now. That's what they think. And I'm not saying they're right, but I'm just saying that's what they think.
Interesting. I can see that. By the
I
way,
think I think I agree with you. That makes sense.
it might be relevant to talk about a Truth Social post that Trump made today.
Oh,
Straight at 4 News mentioned, yeah.
oh, okay. So,
No, actually, a different one.
Oh, okay.
So I sent it to you
Can you
on
put it-
Telegram. You can just
okay, I'll bring it up
Just-
right now.
add the image. I can also add it myself, actually. I don't think about it.
Is it an image or a link? It would be
It's an
better
image.
if it's a link, but okay, it's okay.
Oh,
I'll bring
I
it up.
only have it as an image.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I got it. Let me bring it up. Give me a second.
Because the background is I was worried yesterday hearing like, okay, the Pakistani foreign minister was in Tehran. Apparently they're talking in terms of reviving the MOU specifically. I was like, oh no,
Mhm.
not this. And I wasn't sure enough. My conviction has been cracked in the Americans not making stupid moves. So I was a bit afraid that they might, but this actually this gave me some calm. So Trump is saying the failing Islamic Republic of Iran is not paying large segments of their military, while at the same time killing protesters, even when they are not protesting at levels not seen before. It is a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions and must be stopped now. President Donald J. Trump. And to me, this suggests that whatever surrender deal they will demand from the Islamic Republic will also have to include taking into account the Iranian people, which isn't actually ever going to happen. But that this would be the demand, and then that makes me calmer. What do you think?
I 100% agree. And I also want to say it's posts like these that no matter how much criticism I have for Trump, I will remain a big Trump fan, right? For me, especially as an Iranian, stuff like this outshines anything else that President Trump does that I have a disagreement with. But because again, if you're fighting for the Iranian people, there is no bigger voice out there in the world that is bringing this much attention to the situation of the Iranian people. It doesn't exist. And I honestly sometimes feel like how this is so pro-Iranian, so pro the Iranian people, that sometimes I'm like, why is it so pro-Iranian? Like, what is it like? This is beyond anything that we could even expect. And this is why I appreciate President Trump. And this is why I don't get when people get angry with me when I criticize him, because obviously nobody is flawless. And I always understand and I appreciate President Trump beyond, so much more than anything that I could criticize him for. Right?
I mean, there is a level of people collapsing complexity into heuristics, and especially in politics, when you play team politics, then you collapse criticism into illegitimate criticism, and then illegitimate criticism therefore means Trump derangement syndrome or something like that. It's just a heuristic in play, unfortunately.
It could also be a wrong criticism. It could be not a legitimate criticism, but made with good intentions, right? Like
by legitimate, I mean good faith, not legitimate in the sense that the facts are necessarily true, but like something that you can see why a reasonable person would think this, as opposed to I've had some people in the chat in my previous stream when I had the discussion group. By the way, I used the QR code to get there. Some people in the chat were just inventing things that Trump thinks and then criticizing him for the things that they invented that he thinks. Like, Trump wants this and this is bad, and like, how do you know what Trump actually wants? You don't have access to his internal thoughts.
I mean, it's so interesting how so often because this is for so many people old news. People have moved on from this, right?
Yeah.
Killing the protesters, people have moved on from this. You know, people are talking about the Strait of Hormuz, the economic blockade. Even if they're talking about the Iranian people, they're talking about the current economic conditions. Is like protesters being killed. That is boring to people. That was interesting when it was like a few months ago. It's not interesting anymore. It's not a hot topic anymore. And everybody wants to move on. And President Trump just constantly goes back to it, which I don't know how to express how much I appreciate that. But yeah.
Yeah.
And this makes me believe more in the reports that apparently one thing that tilted the scale was Netanyahu when he went there to talk to him about what to do after the protests and so on. He showed him videos, and he was so distraught that he had to leave the room and go back. And that he, like Jeff said, that he knows someone who knows Trump personally, who says that Trump really, really cares about the Iranian people. It's stuff like this that makes me believe that this is true, despite what he might say for, you know, he produces a lot of noise, but I do think that this is the signal at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that's so important for people to know that, because Trump is a humanitarian. Like he's not a bloodthirsty dictator. He really genuinely cares about people. I mean, look at, you know, the Obama and Bush administration, where they were, you know, turning innocent people into pink mist for both throughout both of their terms, and nobody had anything to say. Trump hasn't dropped nearly as many bombs as those two presidents, and he's constantly accused of being this, you know, murderous maniac type of person. It's just ridiculous. You know, and as far as the way he's prosecuting the Iran war, I mean, I think people need to be consistently reminded that when you are conducting a war, and especially when you're implementing the economic pressure with the US Treasury, what Scott Bessent is doing, which is just masterful. People have to remember this isn't like playing, like, you know, dolls at home with your Barbie dream house. You know, this isn't like Call of Duty. It's not a video game. That's not how war works. It's very complicated, and there's moves and counter moves, and you have to remember the enemy always gets a vote. So you can have the best plan in the world, but the enemy still gets a say on how, you know, things are going to play out ultimately. You know, it's constantly moves and counter moves. So you have to be patient.
And also, like, if at the end of the day, the result of this is the American military defeats and collapses the Islamic Republic of Iran with less than 20 casualties in less than a year, that is
right?
Insane.
That's so impressive. Insanely impressive.
That is the absolute best military victory that like it would go down in history. And by the way, that's already the levels of success that he's had in Venezuela, which is like they won a war in 5 minutes,
right?
2 months of blockade and then 5 minutes. But this would eclipse that. That would be like absolutely masterful work that would go down in history. And so you'd have to judge it backwards. So I always say that if this war goes down the way we hope it goes down, a lot of the people who are against it, it's going to be the reverse Iraq. Like they'll keep people that were for Iraq, then said, "Oh no, I was always against it." Arguably Trump among them, by the way. But like this would be like people who are against it will always say, "Oh no, I was always for the war with Iran." And when we had to kill those, we had to eliminate those bastards. And so, and then suddenly the blame that, oh, Israel dragged us into it is suddenly going to quietly go away.
Israel was stopping us from doing this great thing.
you really can never hate the media enough. You really can't, because not only are they not pointing out the significance of the military victory, like how total and complete the military victory was. Not only do they not report on it, they report the exact opposite and are promoting the IRGC's propaganda for them. It's not just absurd, it is seditious. It's evil. It's just pure evil. You can't hate the media enough. You really can't.
And Thomas Friedman did say the quiet part out loud about this. He said, look, the regime is horrible, it's terrible, but I really don't want to give a victory to Netanyahu and Trump, who are horrible people as well.
Wow. I can't believe somebody actually admitted that, like, on camera. That's insane.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, we've heard that from a lot of different people, similar sentiments. I mean, I remember even Nick Fuentes said that recently, right? Like, we have to root for Iran because Iran is, I mean, of course, he meant
Against
the
Israel.
Islamic Republic, but yeah, because Iran is like, if Iran loses,
Sure.
then we will all lose our freedom, something along those lines.
Because we'll be subjugated to Israel. What a moron.
He actually.
Because
Uh,
Israel, because
He also said,
Islamic Republic-
sorry, go ahead, Armin.
What?
No, he also,
no,
I mean,
he
he,
was. Go ahead.
okay, so he also said not too long ago, I think that if the U.S. and China were to engage in war, he would definitely root for China. So I don't know how that works
America
out to be
first.
America first. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he has a justification, and I didn't get that. I only saw the clip, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, to say that like this idea, this sort of like there is a sort of a very casual degree to which people are allowed to express. I mean, and I think they should be allowed to express their opinions. Right. I'm not saying that, but I do also think that there should be consequences. There should at least be social and commercial consequences for this. Not. I'm not saying they should be locked up, and that's not what's happening, right? So, and I think that has a lot to do with the way that the media and academia and the NGOs have been infiltrated by people who hate America and who basically encourage and reward anti-American rhetoric.
I just quickly want to add my opinion and did read some super chats about this topic. Yeah. So Nick Fuentes said something that was very similar to what I hear from the Islamic Republic, is that the Islamic Republic is the only state in the world that is standing up to global Zionism. And if the Islamic Republic falls, the whole world falls.
Yeah.
And Nick Fuentes was saying that. It was very interesting to me that Nick Fuentes was saying that, because I've been hearing that for years from the Islamic Republic. I was like, when I was watching Nick Fuentes, I was like, holy crap, this sounds like the Islamic Republic.
It is a violation of my human rights for you to repeat that in front of me. That is what an idiotic thing to say.
Just
That-
wait
that
until he
hurt.
sings.
That hurt. You hurt me. Oh.
I'm gonna. Okay, we're gonna be playing some of those things at some point when you're here. So yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
So can I just comment
Sorry.
on this this Truth Social
Yes.
post? Okay, so
Yes, of course.
so something struck me as weird, but maybe it's because, so is this a screenshot?
Yes.
Okay, and you took the screenshot, right, Guy?
No, I someone else took it and posted it. The date is weird.
Do you want the link?
It's from the future.
No, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
just that this appears to be happening in a couple of minutes from my time.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I was like, okay,
it's
what's
from the
going-
future. I don't know
yeah, no,
why
I
the
was
date-
I was
that's
confused
why-
by the time zone too.
Yeah. So
I mean, to be fair, it might be that the person who took the thing is just like in their own time zone. They're like in the
Sure,
east. Let's say
sure.
if they're in Australia, then this
Sure.
would make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So but I didn't know when it was from. I was just curious about that. Okay, so yeah, so I wanted to say that I think what Armin was talking about is that so many prominent figures in politics and the media have moved on from this story completely. Right? There's no talk, there's no discussion about what's happening to the Iranian people, the executions and so on. Like, nobody cares. Everyone's kind of moved on. And I can just imagine how heartening this is for the Iranian people to hear that the US president still is thinking of them when so many people have moved on. Right? So my frustration with Trump is often his message discipline. Right? He's saying some things which like he sometimes is very complimentary to people like Kim Jong-un or like Field Marshal Munir or whoever, or the Qatari leadership and so on, right? And that is sort of like I guess demoralizing for me at times. But then we look at this and you say, okay, so who is the real Trump? But I would say that, in some sense, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter who is the real Trump, right? What matters is that somebody is paying attention and broadcasting about this issue and it's a very important issue. So let's just consider it from that point that we could live in a world where nobody talks about what's happening to the Iranian people, the executions and so on. We could live in that world, and maybe Trump is an imperfect representative of them, but somebody ought to represent them.
I'll say one sentence, and then we should probably move on to the comments. But from my understanding, from people who have talked to him like behind the scenes, he is extremely disciplined, and the lack of discipline is a front. So like he is disciplinedly undisciplined, and he likes to throw a lot of noise and create noise. But when he cares about something, like he didn't make a peep about the tankers that the U.S. was secretly escorting out of Hormuz when it was doing it for like a few weeks, and then he said, okay, now we can talk about it because they found us out, but we've been doing this for a month, and like he doesn't, when for really important information, doesn't actually let it leak himself, and when he cares about something, he knows how to bring the point home and remind people of that point incessantly. And like people talk to him behind the scenes, say he's like a completely different person. Like Bill Maher is one of them. Scott Adams is another. He's a completely different person when you have him in a face-to-face setting than than the character that he portrays that you see online.
All right,
Yeah.
guys, I need to read the super chats really quickly because they have been waiting for so long. Tarun is saying this proves Trump is more logical than wokes say. Thank you, Tarun, for the super chat. And Tarun also with another super chat saying, by the way, Tarun from India, love
Thank you,
India.
Tarun.
Thank you so much. Yes, Tarun with another
The Lion
super chat
Alliance.
saying, yes, the Alliance, the Lion Alliance, Iran,
It's a
Israel,
pretty
India.
avatar.
Yes. Tarun is saying if he was sentimental, he would already. If he was sentimental, he would have already attacked. Okay. Yeah. So he's basically showing restraint. Tarun with another super chat saying also, Armin, when Sharma was interviewing you, oh, that was a long time ago. Did you not say both Trump and Obama are anti-humanitarian? Didn't you hate him back then? What happened? Both Trump, I don't remember saying anti-humanitarian. I don't use the word humanitarian. I did have a lot of criticism for Trump. I still do. Yeah, I still have a lot of criticism for Trump, but I don't know if I use that word. I am a lot more pro-Trump than I used to be, given that what he did to the Islamic Republic. So what happened to me? President Trump helped the Iranian people. Even when I criticized him before, I still had praise for him and criticism. My praise for him relative to my criticism for him has significantly increased given the level of damage that he has done to the Islamic Republic and the fact that he is also responsible for killing Ali Khamenei. And I also like his economic policies a lot more relative to the Democrats, right? But yes. So thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
Sherry with a super chat saying, Elisa, what if Donald J. Trump did a weekly fireside chat to eclipse the media BS? So Elisa, that's for you.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Sherry. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I don't know if Trump would have time to do it just because like look at how much he's done in just the first less than 2 years of his presidency. So he could be too busy to do it, but also I don't know if he necessarily has to because, there's people like us, there's channels on YouTube out there that are kind of already doing that work for him. So I don't know if he has to. I suppose it'd be cool if he did, but I don't know if it's necessary. But thank you for the question.
I think he does, and he calls it media scrums or press conferences. It's sort of it's sort of that. Like he constantly goes live and
That's a
is
good
able
point.
to
It's a good point.
talk about his narrative. And he also has someone to bounce off of, which is even better. Like he debunks the false narratives live because the media feeds them to him.
Yeah, he's a master of crowd work. That's like where he thrives.
Yeah. So I think, Trump has been extremely successful in bypassing the media control, right? So he is able to get his message out despite the media's intent to distort it. And that's extremely frustrating for them. And it's sort of like you can see increasingly sort of hyperbolic reactions to him because of their sort of lack of control in that regard. So, and there is like a pro-Trump media infrastructure, right? Independent media, let's say, but there is a pro-Trump media infrastructure. What I would love to see, and we're a long way from that, is to have a pro-liberty, pro-American, pro-truth media infrastructure that can really compete, rather than to be partisan. And not to say that partisans should not have their own media outlets, but I would like to see a media infrastructure that really values the truth and is willing to critique its own side and to give credit to others when it's due. And I think we're a long way from that.
All right. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for the super chat. And then we got Tarun again with another super chat saying, so we should accept the Hindu caste system? No. The Hindu caste system in Iran ruled by corrupt. So should we accept the Hindu caste? The Hindu caste system in Iran ruled by corrupt priests just to oppose the Zionist agenda? Iranians have to pay the price. I do not understand the super chat.
I understand. This is.
I think he's trolling Nick Fuentes on this, and
yes,
I appreciate
exactly.
it. Good. This is good.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So we should sacrifice the Iranian people, put them under the essentially caste system that they have in Iran, ruled by the corrupt priests of the Islamic Republic, all in the goal of opposing Zionist agenda.
Yeah.
And so Iranians just have to pay the price because we don't like Israel. That's essentially the rhetorical question he's asking in response to Fuentes.
Armin, why didn't you think of that before? Obviously, that's the solution. You just weren't smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not that smart. But I think Tarun is an anti-caste Indian.
Right.
Anti-caste Indian.
He's anti. He's
that's the joke.
And he's
that's
a
the
Zionist.
point of the joke.
Yeah, he's a
like they have what is like a caste system in Iran. They have a system that's akin to the Hindu caste system, and so he's making that connection. He's saying, oh, so we should just accept the essential caste system that they have in Iran just because we oppose Israel, and so we should sacrifice the Iranian people for that. Is that what Nick Fuentes is saying?
If this joke was funny, it's now become so much more funny because we explained it
it thoroughly. Yeah.
Yes.
Because Armin got it the first time, and it's always funny when you explain it.
I don't know if it was funny to begin with, but I'm pretty sure now it's funny now with all the explanation. So great.
Actually, don't think it was a joke. I think it was just a rhetorical, like it was a response to
sarcasm.
He was just being sarcastic, yes.
But I think there's some sharp wit here. So
okay. If you say so. Thank you, Tarun. Thank you, Tarun.
I'm allowed to think that.
Yes. Okay. F with the super chat saying we got 40 days of oil left. What happened? Yes, so Iran, Malaysia, and China. Yes, we do. Iran
has 40 days left. Is that what he's talking about?
Yep. I think you're talking. Well, I think he's talking about.
No, I think he's talking about the West.
What?
Oh yeah, are you? Okay.
The U.S. Yeah. Read the whole thing.
Yeah, let me read the whole thing. We got 40 days of oil left. What happens if D-Day and military strikes don't work and they decide no deal? United States has only I think United States has. Are you talking about the oil reserves or the tankers? Because if you're talking about the tankers around Malaysia, we have 3 to 4 months left, not 40 days left. So what is this 40 days referring to? Let me see if Ahef clarifies in the chat. Ahef, clarify who?
Is that what's in the strategic reserves?
I think it's reserves, yeah. That's my thinking as well.
The reserves, the U.S. strategic reserves is only 40 days left? Is that true?
I think it's 40 days left if you only use the reserves, which is not the case.
Yeah. We're still pumping oil.
Ahef, can you clarify?
That would be my guess.
It's a misunderstanding of how this works. I think there's 40 days worth of strategic reserves left, but the answer is there's way more than 40 days left because you can buy more, like you can bid
Buy more.
higher, so the prices will go up. You also constantly increasing the production to make up for what's lost in Hormuz. They already got most of the way there. They got like at least according to the US. And so like this is not a real problem. It's just oil is just going to be more expensive. Worst case scenario.
Yes. So somebody's saying the U.S. produces 2 million more barrels of oil than we use. Strategic reserves mean nothing. No, the strategic reserves do mean something. They do, but but the United States can always buy more in addition to what it produces, because just saying because the United States produces more oil than they use. Well, yeah, but the price of oil is determined globally, and there's more demand for U.S. oil than the internal consumption in the U.S. Like, it's not just Americans that are using American oil. Other people are using it as well. So the demand for U.S. oil does not just come internally. And yes, but the answer, the guy's answer is the correct one. When you are low on strategic oil reserves, it's just oil is available in the world. You could just go buy it. It just means that you have to buy it at a higher price than before. So it's just financially it's more difficult to do it, but it is doable.
No, but I think that was Pi Squared's point, right? Pi Squared's point is that the strategic reserves, are for an emergency situation where there's just not enough oil, but there is plenty of oil. Right, there is plenty of oil. So if we get to that point, that's a different story. But right now, we just counting the strategic reserves and assuming that means that's how much oil is left is wrong. So I agree with Pi Square from that.
So the U.S. just recently bought a whole bunch of oil from Saudi Arabia recently to get more. So people are like, why is the United States buying oil from Saudi Arabia? Don't they make their own oil? Yeah, but they also sell oil. Like, I mean, it's just all mixed up globally together. When there is like, it's not just the supply and demand of oil is globally determined, not locally, right?
And it's not just governments. It's not just governments trading. There are private companies that are also involved in trading.
It's mostly private.
Yeah,
it's mostly private. Yeah.
So so if I need oil, I'm shopping around. Right, that's what I'm going to do, and maybe I end up buying from Saudi Arabia, even if I'm in the U.S.
Exactly. And Sherry with a super chat saying, "I thought Tarun thought that India was the most moral country in the whole world." LOL. Tarun shifts between saying that and also hating on India, loving India and hating on India. I don't know what his deal is, but he keeps swinging around.
I know what this deal. Yes. I feel very similar about India.
Wait, what?
So love-hate relationship with India.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is some lore that I didn't understand. It's okay.
India is a very complicated place.
Mm-hmm.
And very there's some things that are wonderful and there's some things that are extremely disturbing, and so you're gonna have to keep it all together somehow.
Take the good with the bad, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, and now we're apparently explaining the jokes even more by Tarun saying, yes, Guy and Sid were right. The first joke that got funnier the more you explain. Okay, taking out kings is how priests made caste in India too. Okay, thank you, Tarun. Appreciate the super chat. I do want us to. This is what we have been waiting for. So let's move on to. Actually, I don't know. There's some other comments that we have to start. Let me respond to them really fast as well before they get so off topic. Ryan is saying, "Great panel." Oh, look at this. This is why I remember why I highlighted this. I was away for a while, and you continue to improve every time I watch. Great job, Armin. Well, thank you. Creating a pathway. Creating pathways and community. Yes, guys, this is what we're trying to do here at Liberty Politics. We're creating a community rather than just one person commenting or just a few people. And if you like that, don't forget that to get on these panels, you can come into our group discussion and join our group calls. And by doing so, you will be considered to be added to these panels. And the link to our group discussion is in the description and also in the QR code at the top left corner of the screen. And thank you so much, Ryan, for saying that.
Yeah, and I think we could also testify that it works, right? We went on to the
Yes.
we joined
We
the
are here now.
the Liberty Politics
Yes.
School group, and we're on the panel.
To be clear, I actually didn't know that that's how that worked when I joined. I just jumped in and started yapping. And then Armin was like,
Yeah.
hey, why don't you come on the panel? And I was like,
I was like,
I mean, I guess. I'm not sure.
Hey, you're a good yapper. I mean, we didn't know.
I was like, that
first
is some
either.
good yapping.
Yeah. That's some grade A yapping. And we didn't
Yes.
know either at first. Armin suddenly approached me
So-
one day saying, hey, listen, do you want to have a YouTube channel? I was like, actually, I would like to have a YouTube channel.
Heck yeah.
Yes. It surprises me how many times when I tell people like, "Do you want to have a YouTube channel?" They tell me like, "Actually, that I was planning that." I'm like, "Oh, almost most people are like, great. Well, this has worked out for both of us. Let's do it." And then okay, God made .us. Okay, .us. Okay, saying Armin, we love you. You're awesome. China still supplies our medicine, so until we can sustain that supply, tippy toes. Yes, I understand that. And
also,
again, yeah, go on.
The U.S. supplies them a lot of things as well. Like it's not a one-way
Yes.
street where they can turn off the faucet
Yes.
and like because the U.S. has responses. There's an equilibrium here. It's not that if you say that and oh yeah, well you're not getting medicine, because if we're not getting medicine, you're not getting an economy.
Yeah, and the solution to problems like this is to have other friends, not to be self-reliant. You know, the solution to being too reliant on China is to rely on other countries like Vietnam to diversify your trade, not to become not to try to become self-reliant, in my opinion. But that's another topic.
Well, so that I mean, yeah, maybe we want to talk about that at another time. But yeah, so one of the challenges with the sort of free market approach to China is that they do so much subsidy, right? They subsidize their own industry so that they are artificially cheap, and they do so for strategic purposes, right? So that's just something that we have to be aware of.
But then they hollow out their own economy.
No, of course they
Yes.
pay a price for it. I'm not saying that, right?
But that's fine because that works short term, and long term, other people would outcompete them. Vietnam, for example, will start outcompeting them because that only works short term. Longer term, they will their competitors will competitors who don't have that much government intervention will outcompete them. So
Yes,
let them do that.
Yeah, but it sometimes temporarily creates some strategic challenges, you know, and that's something we have to be aware of.
Yes, true. But the solution, in my opinion, to them using so much government intervention is not for you to respond with so much government intervention as well. The solution for me is to wait it out and be patient and let them destroy this. The answer to them destroying their own economy is not for you to also destroy your own economy. So to match them. Just wait it out until they become weaker.
I don't think that we should match them. You know, absolutely not. I mean, because
I know, I agree. I'm not negating what you're saying. I'm just adding to it.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Somebody start this. You guys, I don't know where this will start.
So we were talking about how the media cycle is no longer interested in the Iranians, and I was thinking this, and someone posted a comment. Well, then why is Gaza still in the news cycle? Gaza is a lot more boring, and I was like, yes. That is true. Maybe Gaza staying in the news cycle, especially a year after the war has ended, is artificial. Maybe there are parties that are doing that for purposes other than this is interesting. That's it. That's what
look, I mean, this is so obvious, right? Somebody's saying no Jews, no news. Exactly.
We should probably move on.
Yeah.
But that was just I wanted to make like a one sentence comment on that. Yeah, no Jews, no news.
Okay, so I'm gonna unstart the other ones. Just gonna do the super chats because then we're gonna be forever if we want to respond to every star. Okay. Let me just remove this, and then 2 super chats. Sherry is saying, "I don't mind inflation to take down terrorists, but not for a green energy black hole." Yeah, in my opinion, alternatives to fossil fuel need to organically happen naturally. If it makes sense, if it makes sense, they produce profit. If it doesn't make sense, they don't produce profit. So
nuclear is the greenest energy you're going to find.
I'm a big fan of nuclear, but again, I might be wrong. So let the market decide.
And we're building 10
Um,
nuclear power plants as of right now in America because of Trump.
That's great.
Yes. Wait. Somebody is accusing me of drinking beer. I'm not drinking beer. This is herbal. This is fruit tea.
Sure,
actually.
sure.
Sure. Yeah.
This is herbal alcohol.
and then okay, so that was Sherry, and then Shauna, where are you? You're supposed to be on this panel. I sent you the link. Shauna is saying we are working on blending trade with making our own. Okay, blending trade with making our own, namely high priority medicines will be made locally, but medium and low priority things will be purchased through trade, largely by India. So if whatever happens, if it's happening organically, I'm for it. If it's happening because the government is pushing for it, I'm against it. Right?
I think high priority meds are arguably a security consideration.
If you could show that it's a high security consideration, sure. But as long as because you could do that for everything. If you're like at some point you could do that for everything. Honestly, like it just needs to be a small percentage of things. But I understand that some things are major security concerns. But you have to, you should just don't stretch it out to everything, right? And thank you, Shauna. Shauna is saying, I love your new panelist. Yes, but it would have, would that make it better, Shauna? You being on here. Okay. So it would have been, and thank you, Shauna. Yes. And thank you. Yes. I love it too as well. Shauna is saying, I'm sorry, Armin. The moves came at 8 a.m. and my husband has the webcam. Okay.
The movers. She's in the middle of a move right now.
The movers, yes, the movers. I understand. Okay, I'll forgive you. It's okay. Thank you, Shana. Thank you for the super chat. And then Tarun, last super chat saying, I know Guy, but who are Sid and what is this? Oh, Alyssa and
just from context.
You don't me? Okay, so
no, he knows Guy.
Apparently Tarun doesn't know you.
No, he knows Guy and he knows Armin. He's talking to Armin. So he says, I know Guy.
I know Guy, but who are Sid and Alyssa, Armin?
Yeah,
exactly.
He doesn't use
okay.
punctuation. So you have to be a punctuation whisperer with Tarun.
Okay.
Why am I so good? Why am I so good at understanding this guy?
Elisa.
Yes.
Elisa.
Because you're both Indian. Elisa.
My wife is dyslexic. Probably it's the practice.
Okay, Sid and Elisa, do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Sid, you go first.
Yeah, not much to say. I'm just a guy, and I don't have.
No, you're not. You're not. That guy is there.
I'm another guy.
I'm another guy. Okay.
I'm still a guy. I dispute that I'm not a guy. I'm a person who likes talking about politics and is very interested in a lot of the topics that Armin talks about. And I've been following Armin for probably 15 years, a very, very long time. I've been following Armin, and I've been appreciating his commentary. And I'll just say, it's not even that. Armin did Atheist Republic for a long time. I never considered myself an atheist, but I really, really appreciated Armin's commentary. And so as somebody I followed for a long...
Get out. I'm just kidding.
No, that wasn't the reason, that was never my identity. But anyway, that's not important. The thing is that I've been following Armin for a long time. And I also am married to an Israeli. And for 25 years, and spent a lot of time in Israel, and Israel has become a kind of second home for me. And I'm very attached, and very emotionally invested in Israel. So these things combined, right? So these things combined. I was also in Israel on October 7th. As I've been there often during many conflicts over the years, and. So then following that, I just saw this huge groundswell of hate for Israel all around the world. This, by the way, wasn't particularly surprising to me because I follow politics very closely. And so, I knew that this was out there, but it just became a kind of an orgy of anti-Israel hate. and Armin was one of the people who was very, very public and very forceful in his support of Israel at a time where everybody hated. And this was, again, not a surprise to me because I knew Armin, but it was very moving. It was very moving. Armin and so many people, particularly from the Iranian national movement, from the Iranian diaspora, and even inside Iran, I would see people expressing solidarity with the Israelis. So that was incredibly moving. And then, not long after that, Armin starts, reporting on the protests in Iran. I'm there watching every second. I couldn't get enough of it. And then he starts a school group and where people talk about politics. And so, of course, I'm there. I had to join, and now I'm here.
Awesome. Elisa? And also, before Elisa speaks, Sayed is saying, welcome abroad, Elisa, to the panel. So there you go.
Thank you, Sayed. I'm happy to be here. So my name is Elisa, and I am based out of Austin, Texas right now. I have been interested in politics for a really long time. I originally trained as a journalist beginning in high school. My grandmother found a journalism program for me to do during the summertime, and I just tried it out. I didn't know if I'd like it or not, but I did. And then I went to college for journalism. When I had about a year left of my degree, I became aware of how much journalists make, which wasn't a lot, especially on the mainstream side of things. And I thought, oh, I'm wasting time and money pursuing this degree. So I dropped out. And that was a while ago. So I've lived a couple of different different careers since then, whatever.
Nice.
But anyways, fast forward to today, I found out about Armin. Actually, I found 2C first. So when the Iran war popped off back February 28th, all of a sudden 2C TV popped up in my YouTube feed. 2C TV led me to Goldie, which is how I found Goldie and Armin at the same time. And then I found Armin. I found out about the school group. Eventually, I popped in, started hanging out, talking to people, and that's how I ended up here. But I've been following politics and current events for a very long time, and I have an inquiring mind. It's always been interesting to me. So now I'm here.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Tusi, for bringing Elisa to us. Thank you, Tusi and Goldie. Thank you.
Me as well, by the way. I
That's
had
great.
almost the exact same trajectory. Got
Really?
Tusi and then
Oh, that's
Iran
cool.
Revolution Live and then the discussion group.
Nice.
Amazing. Awesome. Okay. And thank you, Sayed, for the super chat. And last super chat is from Shaunas. Oh, wait. Before we read the last super chats, guys, now that we heard from Elisa, then remember to subscribe to her channel. Look at this. You're already 1/3 to your first 100. Guys,
No way.
Elisa's channel is in the description. She started with 1 subscriber. I was her first subscriber.
That's
Okay?
true. Armin was number one.
Yes.
Armin is number one.
Yeah. So I was her first. Now she has 35 subscribers. The link to her channel is in the description, so make sure to go show her some love. And guys, also keep supporting Guy's channel as well. The link is in the description. Like, I don't understand why he's not still at 1,000. Get him to 1,000 fast. And Sid's channel will be here soon. Okay.
Oh, can I mention one more
next
thing real quick, Armin? Real quick.
Yes.
So a little bit more about me. I have the misfortune of being a Seahawks fan. I was very pleasantly surprised that we won the Super Bowl this year. I grew up in Western Washington, much to my eternal shame, because I used to love Seattle and now it's a shithole. It's very depressing. And also I am a Christian. I am a practicing Christian. Love Jesus, on fire for Jesus. So yeah, that's it.
Wait. Atheist.
I have to go in
Jew,
10 minutes, by the
Christian?
way.
Oh, God. Okay. So before, tell us this. But Sid, what's your religion? Or lack of?
I don't really have a religion. I didn't grow up. My mom grew up Catholic in a very secular family. My dad grew up Hindu in a very secular family. So I grew up with no religious training or no religious identification. I guess I sort of consider myself a deist.
Deist. Okay.
Yeah.
Atheist, deist, Christian, Jew.
Jew.
Fantastic. Great. We need Hindu here at some point. Okay, so and a Muslim maybe at some point. Muslim panelist. Amir will riot. Oh my God, Amir said Armin number 1 in the chat, and now I'm gonna say like we need a Muslim panelist. Amir, I love you in the chat. Love you. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, Shana with the super chat saying it's more about building local pharmaceutical plants so that we can be flexible against other nations trade and or bioweapons. Oh, okay, yes. Bioweapons makes me feel like the government forcing certain things to be local makes a lot of sense. As soon as you said bioweapons, that makes a lot of sense to me. All right, guys, we really do need to watch this, but Guy, you're not going to be able to be here for us to watch this, or
not for the whole? How long is it?
It's 25 minutes of this.
No, so I'm not. Unfortunately, not. I'll be here for the next 5 minutes, and then I have to go.
Okay, let's do. Maybe you could respond to the first part here.
Yeah.
Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed joins us now. How you doing, Abdul?
I'm good, Jesse. I appreciate the opportunity for a good, wholesome conversation, and I just want to start where we agree. We both played football and lacrosse. We both love America. We both love freedom, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. We'll see how much we agree on. I know I don't agree with you on this. You want to abolish ICE. Who's going to do?
That was very strategic to start like that. Okay.
Yes.
That was very strategic to start like that. Because
And Jesse Waters went like he played it back, like he played just as strategically back. Like, I'm not gonna let you do this. You want to abolish ICE. Yes, very fun. Okay, love football. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, these are two people that know what they're doing, both of them.
Yes.
As much as I'm against Abdul, but they seem like we're starting with two capable persons when it comes to battle of narratives.
He is a Rhodes Scholar, so he was trained by the best.
Yes. Guys, as much as we're against Abdul El Sayed, it seems like he knows what he's doing when it comes to
Rhetoric.
Rhetoric, exactly.
Just want to start where we agree. We both played football and lacrosse. We both love America. We both love freedom, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. We'll see how much we agree on. I know I don't agree with you on this. You want to abolish ICE. Who's going to deport the criminal aliens from the country?
Well, you and I both know that long before we ever had ICE, we had INS. We were able to enforce our immigration policies without shooting people in the face and the back of the head. And we just celebrated our 250th anniversary. That was an anniversary of throwing away tyranny. Now, to bring that tyranny back under the guise of the U.S. government itself, that seems to me to be inconsistent with the freedom you and I both love.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a dodge, Abdul. They did the same thing as ICE back then, INS.
Okay, go ahead.
No, because he knows what he's doing. He's trying to get some center-right people, and that's what I thought he would do. I thought that he estimated that he's such a slick speaker that he can get even right-wing voters to go for his bullshit.
I was going to say,
he's using rhetoric that plays on the sentiments that right-wingers love, like freedom and being pro-America and being pro-football. Like, that's how he started. Look, I like football. I love America. I love freedom. And all my policies, I'm going to package in such a way to make them appear like they're pro those things that right-wingers love. And I believe that the right-wingers are dumb enough to fall for it.
He's an expert manipulator. That sleight of hand was masterful. The fact that he even came on Fox News demonstrates how confident he is in his abilities. That he believes, he's very confident that he can manipulate just enough of the audience to sway them over to his side.
And I think Jesse Waters is good enough that I think he is underestimating Jesse Waters, or he was. We'll see.
But his answer was that we had other methods to deal with this, and like with illegal immigration, and ICE is not the right way. So his answer was like, I'm not against having enforcement against illegal immigrants, but ICE is not the way. So you're telling me, like, if we don't have ICE, how can we do this? And he's like, well, we had other institutions that did this before that wasn't as violent and aggressive and anti-human as ICE. So I'm not against enforcement. I'm against ICE enforcement. That's his answer.
This is
Zaman and Bailey. Yep. Yeah, it's Zaman and
There we
Bailey.
go.
Exactly. Yeah, this is exactly what it is.
Classic
So,
Martin Bailey.
Yeah.
Let's abolish the police. Let's defund the police. Oh, we just mean slightly lowering their budgets, but let's defund the police. And then when we get in power, well, we told you we wanted to defund the police. What do you think was going to happen? That's the Martin Bailey. Like you say the extreme thing, and then when you're attacked for it, you say, no, I mean this more subtle thing. But then eventually you do believe the extreme thing. And what Jesse Waters is going to say is that INS was not different. I think that's a response. That's what the response is going to be.
well, yeah. So I mean, so look. The issue is border enforcement. The issue is immigration enforcement. You can call it whatever you want. I don't care if you want to go back to INS. That's fine with me. I mean, this is very trivial. It's on the surface discussion. That's what he wants to make it, right? He's associating. So ICE has a bad reputation among his followers, right? His supporters. ICE has a terrible reputation among his followers. So it's very easy for him to say abolish ICE, and he never. As far like these people like abolish ICE or defund the police, they never propose real policies to deal with the problems that those institutions are designed to address, right? So it seems like nonsense. And now here it says like, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? He says, oh no, the issue is only with ICE, right? It's this institution rather than the enforcement. And now that's what I'm saying is I think when they're talking, they're against enforcement. That's what I think. And they say
if that's what he wanted.
Sorry. Let me just finish.
Yeah,
So
if that's what he wanted, he would not say abolish. He would say reform. He would say rejuvenate. He would say replace ICE. That's not the language used. Abolish means eliminate, and that's it. All right, and I have to go.
Okay, you can't say, guy, for this is going to be fun. No, right?
My daughter, daughter needs to go to sleep.
No, say no more. No, yeah, of course.
Aww.
Yeah. All right.
Bye, guy.
Go be a good
Bye,
dad.
guy.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Guys, look, but guys, go support Guy. Seriously, like, look at his channel. I don't know why his channel is not growing as much as it should be.
Ring that bell.
Yeah, look at this. Like, Elisa's channel is growing so fast. She's at 46 now.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Thank you
know,
for subscribing, everybody. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Yeah. Why are you guys not showing the same amount of love to Guy? Like, he's making so much effort. So
Come on,
Elisa,
guys.
both Elisa's channel and Guy's channel is in the description. And Elisa is already growing fast. She's almost at 50 already. But after I asked you guys to subscribe, Guy got only one more subscriber. So go and support Guy. He really puts a lot of work in his channel. So please go and support him. Okay. The link is in the description. Okay, let's continue with this.
Do you know how many illegal aliens are in the country
shoot
now?
people in the face and the back of the head.
Do you know how many illegal aliens
So
are
my
in the
question is
country
this.
now?
We had to your point, Jesse. Let me just answer the question. To your
Answer
point,
it. How many
had
do we
far
have?
Fewer when we had INS. To your answer, we had
exactly.
far fewer when we had
Exactly.
INS. So
We now
arguably,
have
INS worked a lot better.
Abdul, listen. We had twice as many
We got
illegals
ICE
now when we
way
had
more.
INS.
So to your argument,
Pause.
Already-
It's a complete obfuscation of the point. That's a complete non sequitur. Like, you see, like when you learn how to spot these sleight of hand tactics that they do, like you just can't unsee it.
Yeah, but so we're gonna see. I mean, it looks to me like Waters is not able to pin him down on this, right? So what is the policy? Now what El Sayed is doing is he's just talking about the name of the institution, right? He's like, basically, what should this institution be named? I'm saying it should be named INS, and because when it was INS, we had less immigrants, less illegal immigrants. So I want to talk about the policy. Like, if you're going to name it INS, and as a result, we're going to get less illegal immigration and more enforcement, I'm in favor. Okay, I don't really care about the name. So, but what he's trying to do is he's trying to, like, as Elisa was saying, he's obfuscating. But now it's up to Waters to pin him down on it. Let's see if it happens.
Right, and not only that, but the frustrating thing about having debates with people like him is that they can't talk about policy. They can't. they have to talk around it because they are advocating for evil. So, but they can't come out and be like, hey, I am pro evil. I am promoting a policy that is going to hurt people and kill people. They can't say that. So they have to use this sort of care-based morality type of language. They have to dress it up and make it sound nice and family friendly. And, oh, I'm just a poor healthcare boy and I just want free healthcare for Americans. And, you know, like they can't discuss policy, because once they do, it's like, boom, you've nailed them. They're done.
Yeah, but yeah, I would just say that this is an opportunity now where so he is appearing on right-wing media. He's appearing, he's being interviewed by Jesse Waters. So that's, you know, that's something that often doesn't happen. A lot of times these leftist candidates are interviewed by friendly media, and they're never challenged on this. So what I'm hoping I'm going to hear is a real challenge on policy. This is the opportunity for it to happen. I hope it happens. If it doesn't happen, then we can say that El Sayed managed to slither away from this.
So two points. First of all, I think he's missing the direction of causality. He's saying that at that time with that INS, right, there were less immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
But he's saying that as if it was because there was no ICE, as if not having ICE caused less immigrants. But the direction of causality is the other way around.
Right.
We have more immigrants, so INS is not enough. Now we need ICE. It's not a success of INS that caused having low immigrants. The INS was not responsible for having low immigrants. We have so much more not immigrants, illegal immigrants. Sorry, we have a lot more illegal immigrants now. So we need to do more, a lot more, right?
We do need to do a lot more, but we don't need to change the name. And this is the game that he's playing, right? The name is irrelevant to the policy. The name is irrelevant to the policy. If El Sayed wants to call it INS and has a good policy for border enforcement, I'm in favor. Okay, I'm in favor, but I don't think he does. I think when he says abolish ICE, he means no enforcement. That's what I think he means. And if he's going to explain it in another way, I'm happy to hear it. But I haven't heard it so far. And this is Waters' responsibility to squeeze it out of him. What is your policy? Let's not talk about the name. Give him INS if he wants. Right? Let's not talk about the name. Let's talk about what is your policy. How are you going to keep illegal immigration down? How are you going to do it? How are you going to find and deport illegal immigrants who engage in crime? How are you going to do it? That's what we need to talk about, not the fucking name.
Also, how do you respond to this thing that we don't need to shoot people in the back of the head? Like that's the main line he has over ICE. And Jose in the chat is saying, when did ICE shot someone in the back of the head? So what is the deal with that?
Right. So I think he's making a reference to, well, I don't know about the back of the head comment, but if you go back to January of this year, you had two high profile ICE shootings. You had the one with the Good chick who Rachel Good, thank you. Where on camera from multiple angles, she clearly was trying to assault an ICE officer with her car. She was literally using her vehicle to try and hurt a federal agent. He shot her, and then there were riots and protests and all this other crap. But it's like, don't try and hit a federal agent with your vehicle and you won't get shot in the face. It's as simple as that. That's one. And then there was the Alex Preddy case where he got Alex Preddy, he was shot in the back. He was shot in the back of the head. But that was a situation where it was I hate to put it this way, but it was a lawful but awful shooting. So if you watch the video, it looks really, really bad. ICE looks terrible in that shooting. They didn't do but ICE didn't do anything that was unlawful. So it was a lawful shoot, but it wasn't a clean shoot. It was a really bad look. But Alex Preddy basically was essentially tussling with multiple federal agents. One of the agents disarmed him because Preddy had a gun on him. He was disarmed. After he was disarmed, the weapon discharged, And when the weapon discharged, another ICE agent, thinking that Preddy had tried to fire a shot, then shot Preddy, and because he thought he was defending himself.
So here's the problem with this argument that I have. Okay, every single law enforcement institution anywhere in the world has incidents like this, right?
Right.
Are we again? Like, I'm pretty sure if I go look at, I don't know, for example, the New York Police Department and all the cases, they had a cop somewhere that did far worse than this, like a really bad cop that did something really evil that shouldn't have done.
Sure.
So should we shut down the New York Police Department? Like, because he wants to shut down ICE because of this example.
That's
So
precisely
based on
what
this
they're advocating for. His allies in the DSC are advocating for precisely that policy.
Yeah.
No,
So
but let's just take it as face value. Let's say like they're not doing that. Let's say like we're looking at this conversation and we're just believing what he's saying, right? And they're not trying to, just shut down law enforcement. And he's saying like, oh, I want INS, but ICE is not good because ICE, they shot somebody in the back of the head. And let's say they did, right? That's not a good argument, because based on that standard, there's no law enforcement on earth that will survive that standard. There's no law enforcement institution anywhere on earth that would survive that standard, even if this is true. ICE as a whole is not bad because one agent shot somebody, like did something wrong, or I don't know what they did, but let's say they did shot somebody back in the back of the head, and they shouldn't have, right? That doesn't make that's not a good argument for shutting down ICE.
You're correct. However, that's why he's going to repeat this line over and over again. I haven't seen this interview. I didn't pre-watch this, but I promise you he's going to repeat that over and over. He has to keep it on that point that, oh, law enforcement shooting citizens in the back of the head is wrong. It's a bad thing. Because if you allow the audience to make that logical connection, then you've lost the argument, because it is a bad argument. So you have to keep people on that point, because violence is bad and it makes people feel icky, right?
Yeah, it just slightly tangentially here, but I remember at the time, following the tragic deaths of Good and Preddy, there were people making the comparison between our government and our enforcement and the Islamic Republic's government and enforcement, and saying, look, they kill people, we kill people.
And what?
Right.
I'm sorry. How are you going to compare one guy who was tussling with federal agents, armed with a weapon on his waist, right? Like that was a tragic situation. We're talking about one man versus mounting 50 caliber machine guns on the back of trucks and shooting into crowds of thousands and thousands of innocent people.
Yeah.
And massacring so many people that there were literally rivers of blood in the streets. Those two things are not comparable. But of course they know that. That's what they're doing. They're trying to imply that there's some type of moral equivalence between one bad ICE shoot and the massacre of tens of thousands of people. It's so absurd.
So I agree with almost everything you said, Elisa. The one aspect of it that I would quibble with is that not everybody knows. They should. Okay, not everybody knows, and this is what we're dealing with, and this is the sort of the naive audience that El Sayed is appealing to. Okay, he's appealing to the people who think like the deaths of Preddy and Good are clear examples of tyranny. Of the level that is displayed by tyrants around the world, right? Like there's no difference. You see, look what happened to Good. And then, okay, yeah, sure. Well, okay, yeah. You heard about blah, blah. Why are you talking about Iran? Why are you talking about China? Look what's happening to Rachel Good. Okay, so and so this is on. There is one layer of this, which is propaganda and manipulation by bad actors, by bad faith actors. And sadly, there's another layer, which is naive consumers of this information. Who are enabled. Their naivete is enabled by a media that never addresses the issue head on.
Wait, hold on. I do want to answer this, respond to this comment by Samantha. So Samantha is saying, meanwhile, Republicans want to shut down health insurance because of cases of fraud. So I don't know what you're referring to, but if they're trying to shut down government health insurance, which I don't think they are, but if they were, I would support that. Okay, because I don't think Republicans are against health insurance. I think they're for like they should be, in my opinion, for private health insurance that competes, that has maximum competition, rather than government regulated and government controlled health insurance. And here's the difference that, Samantha, you seem to refuse to understand. Okay, policing, in my opinion, as somebody who's a free market capitalist, is a government job. It should be a government job. Government should be responsible for providing us security and safety. You know, it is that's what the government is good at. Okay, the government is designed, the structure of a government is designed in a way that makes them good at policing us, at creating a safe environment, like the army, the police, the judicial system, the prisons, right? So the role of the government is to provide society with an environment free from crime, violence, and corruption. That is what the government should focus on. The government is not good at providing us healthcare, right? So that's what you don't understand. What people like me who are limited government type people, we want people to have access to more healthcare, and we think the government sucks at providing that. We want our government to be more focused. Like by the way, limited government doesn't mean small government. I'm for big government. I'm for limited government because I'm for big government. Because I think that the more limited the government is in healthcare, education, and real estate and everything else, the more revenue it has to play with to build me a giant army, to build me a giant police force, to build me better court systems, to fight corruption in the most effective way. I want a big government, but it's big in the areas where it's good at, not in the areas where it sucks at, right? So that's what you don't understand. Like, yes, if a government that is cutting healthcare insurance provided by the government to spend more money on policing, that's a good thing. That means more people will have access to healthcare, and more people are going to end up being safe. So your analogy is not, it's a false analogy. It's not a fair comparison.
Can I add something to this?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what Samantha meant by that statement. However, there's two things real quick. One, you can look at a graph of health insurance premiums before 2007 and after 2007, and there's or 2009, no, 2010. There's no comparison. They've skyrocketed. So that's all I'll say about that. The data speaks for itself. The other thing too that I've been saying ever since Doge was announced back in 2024 is that if you are a person who is in favor of a social safety net, you should want Doge to do its job, because when you have efficiency in the revenue system that funds that social safety net, then that means that more people who might need it are going to be able to receive that help. So I don't necessarily advocate for a social safety net. I have quite a few quibbles with it. So, but again, if you are you full-throatedly advocate for a social safety net, then you should also be advocating for Doge to make the revenue streams more efficient, so that that safety net can function better and help more people. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that, Alyssa. I was going to say something very similar. So the issue is that Samantha has to understand that the advocates of a large welfare state, it is their responsibility to mitigate fraud to the highest degree possible, because fraud is not just an economic drain on a system that is designed to help people in need, but it's also a moral drain on that system.
More
Right?
importantly, being anti-fraud should not be a partisan issue. That's not partisan at all.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, so the responsibility is on people like Samantha to come up with a welfare system that is maximally anti-fraud. Okay, that's step one in convincing those of us who are skeptical of it. Right, that's step one in convincing those of us who are skeptical of it to take a second look. But if you say a little bit fraud, it's okay, and we don't need to investigate, and we don't need to find the fraud, then a little bit of fraud will become more fraud, and 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 all the fraud that's taking place is being stolen from the people who need it.
Let's do the super chat and then get back to the video. Auntie K from Florida saying, Armin, a long time ago, Auntie K could walk in a room and hear AH-INS. The change was INS was broken up into three agencies. INS was the umbrella name. Abdul is an idiot. It's still the exact same jobs, different door name tags. Oh, this is what you were talking about, Sid, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly so. Yes. Right, there was a look. I believe that the change in the name of INS happened at the same time that the Department of Homeland Security was created. Right, so the Department of Homeland Security was created, and there was a move of the Immigration and National from probably the Department of Justice to the Department of Homeland Security. Right. So okay. So there was some like bureaucratic rearrangement and so on, and the name got changed. But so the real important thing is, what is the policy? What is the policy?
Yeah. So INS is it was the Immigration and Naturalization Service. It existed from 1933 to 2003. After Homeland Security Act of 2002, it was split among three agencies: USCIS, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, ICE, and CBP.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And thank you, Auntie K.
Thanks, Auntie K.
Yeah, thank you, Auntie K. And then godmade.us just became a member. Well, thank you. Welcome to our group. Welcome to our group.
Godmade.us.
.us. Guys, check that website. And then we got Stephen with a super chat saying it was the Iranian president who made the comparison of the ICE shooting and the IRGC mass murder of the protests.
Okay, I didn't know that it originated from him. I actually heard it from some American protesters. But yeah, I mean, it's not surprising that it's downstream from Islamic Republic propaganda. This is the kind of a moral equivalency that they want to push in order to hide their own crimes, which are at a scale that is just like it's unfathomable. The comparison is just impossible.
Okay, interesting. Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much for the super chat. We should go back to the video because we're not going to get further into this video.
Do it. If you want to do that correlation, we have ICE now, and we have far more undocumented people. So ICE is clearly not working. It's just shooting like American citizens in the face and the back of the head. So if you're okay with that,
shooting.
This is the classic fallacy of mixing correlation with causation. Like exactly. You have to be really dumb. You have to be really dumb to not understand. Imagine if we have like more people getting sick, right? So more doctors end up working, right? Like more doctors, and we're like, oh my God, look at all of these doctors working harder, and we have more sickness, and we have more doctors working. So this must mean that doctors working harder causes sickness. Fire these doctors. Stop them from working. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they constantly have to do this. It's just more word games, moving goalposts, changing definitions, pretending not to understand the argument, pretending you don't understand what words means. This is what they do every single time.
This is
so I would just say, like, and we can examine what's going on here, right? But what El Sayed is doing is he's making a bad faith argument, right? He's making a bad faith argument, and because he wants to have that bad faith argument, he wants the debate to be about the name. Okay, and it's Waters' responsibility to make sure that the debate is about policy.
Yeah. Oh, Sean is saying 2 people died in ICE enforcement. End of the world. 50,000 plus Iranians killed. Crickets. Exactly. That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
100% Sean.
I guess
People
we
in the
just
face,
have to agree
too.
to disagree.
Abdul, you got a guy
Yes,
in Michigan.
so are American citizens.
You got a
I just
guy.
think, look,
let me
we
just
have a
say something,
responsibility
okay?
to get
Abdul,
back to the conversation about the broader issues.
okay.
Well, you cut me off, Jesse, and you said we're going to have a good conversation. So I'd like to do that. I just want to answer the point. When I travel the state, and I have traveled my state,
Yeah.
more people are asking me about how they're going to afford their gas and groceries. They're not asking me about immigration.
Well,
Now,
they also
I
don't
know
want to
that's
get
an issue that
molested.
your
Abdul, you
president
got a
and
guy
Iran
here
are.
from Southeast Asia, molested a kid. ICE just picked him up. You want that guy to stay in Michigan?
I'm glad that guy got picked up, but that's a different thing than saying that INS would not have picked him up. Jesse, you're too smart for this. Come on.
It's a
That is
bureaucratic
gotcha
game you're
There's
playing.
one
And that's
guy,
a
you point to
dodge.
him, you say,
You need guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, I'm sorry. That just hurt me. Let me take a minute to gather my thoughts.
He is being smart about it. Abdul, I think
Yeah.
like he is being very smart about it. So you guys are like, oh, he's just playing a name game. But to the audience, this is like requires a lot of explanation. He is popular to be anti-ICE. Jesse Waters is trying to show that if you're anti-ICE, you're anti the enforcement of the law on somebody that just molested children. And Abdul is very successful. They were like, no, that guy should have been picked up. We don't need ICE for this. And
Okay.
So
That's what I'm saying, Armin. So I'm saying it's Waters' responsibility to pin him down on policy. If the debate it becomes about the name, El Sayed has won. Okay, and then, so that's why I'm waiting to hear if it happens, but I'm skeptical. And I think this is exactly the point I'm making, right? So most of the time, El Sayed is going to be talking to friendly left-wing media, and they're not going to even try to pin him down on policy. This is the opportunity that's there. Okay, this is the opportunity that's there.
Yeah.
So basically,
I mean, just one thing. Amir is calling me out and saying, "How is he smart? He's being slimy." To be slimy, you have to be smart.
Yes.
To be slimy, you have to be smart. Yeah, but go on. At least
but he's relying on people, one, not knowing what INS is, and if they don't know what it is, that they're not going to look it up, right? But then once you look it up, like a quick Grok search, then you see, ICE and CBP fall under the umbrella that INS used to cover. All it does is it's just they just change the name of the agency, like how you were saying, Sid. So it's like, okay, what's your point? Yeah, we changed the name. Cool story, bro. What's your fucking point?
Yeah, and what is your solution, right? How are you going to keep illegal immigration down? How are you going to find criminals and deport them? Right? This is what needs to be asked. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. What I care about is the policy. What is your solution to the problem? What he is proposing is no policy. Okay, at least that's what I hear. Right? So I feel like, okay, El Sayed, you have to clear it up, because when I hear you say abolish ICE, I hear you say no enforcement. Now, if that's not what you mean, then you tell me how you're going to enforce. But if you're just going to say, well, INS. That the problem is the name change, then exactly that's the fucking game that he's playing. And I hope Waters is not going to let him get away with it, but I suspect he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Waters, instead of making this about ICE, should make it about what is your solution to illegal migrants?
Yes.
Like that's what he should be asking about, right?
Exactly.
By the way, guys, I see the super chats, and I will get to it. I just want to make sure we get to more of this video.
To get these guys out of the country.
And therefore, ICE, we need ICE. I'm just saying, look, playing by your own rules. When we had INS, we had fewer people doing the things that you're talking about.
That's because Biden didn't blow open the border back then.
When we had that.
All right, that's because Biden didn't blow open the border back then.
And that's not an ICE question. That's a CBP question.
No,
Jesse,
you guys let in a ton of people, and we got to get them out, and we'll take the guys out the way we need to take them out. Green New Deal. You back that up. Do you?
So Green New Deal, I think Jesse could have done better. So they moved away from migration.
He could have done a lot better. Yeah. So he never did pin him down. And you called it, Sid. Yeah, he never got there.
Yeah. And so by the way, I was not looking forward to this debate, this discussion. I had a feeling it was going to go like this, and I haven't watched it, but the few clips I've seen, I've been disappointed.
Do you know what this is like? This is exactly like the Candace Owens debate with Andrew Wilson.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch the whole debate. I think I watched like 45 minutes of it, but the entire debate was Andrew Wilson being like, "Well, these are my points, and I think this because of this evidence and this evidence and this evidence and so on." And then Candace the whole time was like, "Oh, well, actually, I didn't say that, and well, no, I didn't mean this. What I really said was this, and well, you know what? Actually, I'm allowed to have an opinion, and you can't tell me what to think. It's a free country."
And I don't need to explain anything to you.
I don't have to.
need to explain it, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so you know, and I think it worked for her.
Yes.
I think it worked for her, actually. You know, I think, you know, I mean, I think it ended up being kind of like a wash. And both sides.
Let's come back to this one. Let's come back to the topic at hand. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So yeah.
You drive an electric car?
So they're talking about the Green New Deal right now, and
Mhm.
Jesse Waters is asking if you drive an electric car. I think that Jesse Waters is getting to specifics a little bit more to try to show hypocrisy rather than trying to expose that his policies are not good. I wouldn't go with this method, but let's see if it produces results.
I drive a plug-in hybrid made right in the United States. The bigger question about cars, though, is why the president just started a trade war or escalated a trade war with Canada. It's about to make all of our cars, especially the internal combustion engine cars, so much more expensive.
You
Also,
want to
See, that was masterful. I hate to say it, that was masterful. You know, do you try to like why would you even ask that question if you don't know the answer to? So he had a good answer to that. Never ask a question if you don't know the answer. If you had a research team that checked that, if he has a hybrid and it's made in America, then that's a question that will be a win for him. Look how pro-American he sounded. I drive a hybrid that was made right here in the United States of America. That was a masterful response that made him look like a patriot. And he's not a patriot. He's anti-American. And then he answered that question masterfully, and then he pivoted to something else that he took the control of the conversation into his own hand.
Right. It's very well done.
Yeah,
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
is why the president just started a trade war or escalated a trade war with Canada. It's about to make all of our cars, especially the internal combustion engine cars, so much more expensive.
You
Also,
want to
we can
get
talk about
rid
the
of the
actual war in
internal
Iran that's raising our
combustion
gas
engine.
prices. No, I don't. Who told you that?
That's what the Green
My
New
dad
Deal
came to America
says.
to design
Well, no, hang
internal
on. That's
combustion engines.
terrible. I'm sorry. That's a terrible response because I would point out the some of the particulars of the trade war. Like we were talking about this yesterday, how Canada was doing the white label scam for years and years and years, and that this trade war, like it was started by Trump.
Elisa, if you talk about the trade deal, then you're moving into his trap of controlling the direction of the conversation, right?
Yeah.
So because if you're Jesse Waters, you shouldn't talk about the trade deal right now because then he's deciding the topic. You're trying to talk about the Green New Deal. He's trying to move the conversation to the Canada trade. You should bring him back. Like, that's not what we're talking about. Answer my goddamn question. Like, we can talk about that later, right? So you shouldn't fall to it for his trap.
Yeah.
Right?
He's dodging and weaving. And now Waters is chasing him around. He's chasing him around the ring.
Yeah, no, that's really clever. That's a good point. I missed that.
Yeah.
Waters does not want to talk. Waters, his line of questioning is not about the trade war, right? This is El Sayed's tactic to shift the goal, to shift the conversation, right? And so now you have to chase me. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this. And if you chase, then you miss the point of your own line of questioning. Okay.
Right.
Anyway,
Makes sense.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
Internal combustion engine.
Prices. No, I don't. Who told you that?
That's what the Green
My
New
dad
Deal
came to America
says.
to design internal combustion engines. No, that's
The
not
Green
what
New Deal says phase out
it says that
fossil
we could
fuels.
build renewable energy opportunities. Look, I'm not going to defend the Green New Deal. What I'm telling you, though, is that we could make a whole
You're
lot
on the
more
record
amazing
as
jobs if we actually
backing the
invested
Green
in
New
renewable
Deal,
energy.
Abdul.
Look, I'm just telling you this. Are you opposed to the idea that we could reduce energy costs and create jobs in Michigan?
Absolutely, but I don't want windmill.
No. You had him. Don't answer his question. Go back to you just said that you don't support the Green New Deal, your name is on it. Why are you being like, why are you lying? Like,
Right.
you caught him on something, just like keep doubling down on that. Like you can't back, you just admitted that you can't back something that you were backing. So what
can you
else?
just-
Like, are you a two-face on? Yeah.
Can you just
What?
back up just that exchange where El Sayed says, "Are you opposed to X?"
So yeah, so before I do that, let me just make it clear. So he says you're against the combustion engine, and he says, "No, I'm not. I'm not. Who told you that?" He says, "Well, you support the Green New Deal, and that's what the Green New Deal wants to do." And then El Sayed said, "Well, I don't necessarily support the Green New Deal." And then Jesse Waters is saying, "Well, your name is on it, supporting it." And then now Abdul is being caught in a lie, and so he's pivoting. And I think Jesse Waters here shouldn't let him pivot, because you got him exposed saying a lie. But you cornered him, and Abdul is trying to get away. You shouldn't let him get away. Like, watch this.
Right in the United States. The bigger question about cars, though, is why the president just started a trade war or escalated a trade war with Canada. It's about to make all of our cars, especially the internal combustion engine cars, so much more expensive.
You
Also,
want to
we can
get
talk about
rid of the
actual war in
internal
Iran that's raising our
combustion
gas
engine.
prices.
Into.
No, I don't. Who told you that?
That's what the Green
My
New
dad
Deal
came to America
says.
to design internal combustion engines. No, that's
The
not
Green
what
New Deal says phase out
it says that
fossil
we could
fuels.
build renewable energy opportunities. Look, I'm not going to defend the Green New Deal. What I'm telling you, though, is that we could make a whole.
Wait, look at this. He went from saying no, that's not what the Green New Deal says, to then being told that it does say that, and said, "Well, I'm not going to support it." Which one is it? Does it not say that, or do you not support it? This is two lies. And then he says, "Well, I'm not going to support it." But then Jesse Waters says, "Well, your name is on it. So do you not support it, or do you support it?" Two lies in a few seconds.
You're on the
more
record
amazing
as
jobs if we
backing
actually
the
invested
Green
in
New
renewable
Deal,
energy.
Abdul.
That's insane.
Look, I'm just telling you this. Are you opposed to the
Look, I'm just going to tell you this. No, I caught you in two lies in a row. Why are you? Don't let him pivot.
Back to
Don't let him
back.
pivot.
Yeah.
No, but
Yes.
please, Armin, just back it up, because I want to hear exactly what he says. Are you opposed to?
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, that's
The
not
Green
what
New Deal says phase
It
out
says that
fossil
we could
fuels.
build renewable energy opportunities. Look, I'm not going to defend the Green New Deal. What I'm telling you, though, is that we could make a whole
You're
lot
on the
more
record
amazing
as
jobs if we actually
backing the
invested
Green
in
New
renewable
Deal,
energy.
Abdul.
Look, I'm just telling you this. Are you opposed to the idea that we could reduce energy costs and create jobs in Michigan? Are you opposed to that?
Absolutely, but I don't want windmills and
Whoa,
Lake
whoa, whoa,
That's
Michigan.
a clip. That's a clip.
Are you opposed to reducing costs, energy costs? Jesse Waters says, absolutely, I'm opposed.
Yeah. Why did he say that?
Why did he
I
say
think
that?
he must have misheard him, because you have to imagine his adrenaline is spiked through the roof right now. He may have misheard him, but he just gave Abdul a clip
Yeah,
that he can put in a campaign ad.
there's no excuse for this. Okay, Waters is a media professional.
Supposedly.
Okay, El Sayed is obviously talented. Okay, talented in this kind of obfuscation. All right, but Waters needs to be on top of this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. This is a good clip for Abdul. Like,
Yep.
are you against lowering the cost of energy? Absolutely. What the hell?
Absolutely.
And cut it right there. Cut it right there.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Let me see. Did we misunderstand what he just said?
The president just started a trade war or No, I don't. Who told you that?
That's what the Green
My
New
dad
Deal
came to America
says.
to design internal combustion engines. No, that's
The
not
Green
what
New Deal says phase out
It says that
fossil
we could
fuels.
build renewable energy opportunities. Look, I'm not going to defend the Green New Deal. What I'm telling you, though, is that we could make a whole
You're
lot
on the
more
record
amazing
as
jobs if we
backing
actually
the Green
invested in
New Deal,
renewable energy.
Abdul.
Look, I'm just telling you this. Are you opposed to the idea that we could reduce energy costs and create jobs in Michigan? Are you opposed to that?
Absolutely, but I don't want windmills in Lake Michigan.
Well, maybe absolutely doesn't mean that. No. Okay, so we misunderstood him. Absolutely here meant that I am in favor of reducing costs.
That wasn't the question. The question was, are you opposed to?
I know.
reducing
I
energy?
know. But it's like if you listen to his tone, he means I'm in agreement with you that these are important.
Yes,
right?
that's what he
So
meant. That's what he meant.
That's
But
what he meant.
he
That's
was
what
not
he meant.
following,
But
yeah.
yes, that's what he meant. But it sounded really bad because that was not the question, right?
Yeah, because I don't think he's paying attention to what El Sayed is saying. You know,
Yeah,
and this is my
absolutely.
frustration with it. I don't think he's really paying attention.
Yes.
Armin, can we highlight a comment? Draco says, yeah, but do we vote on clips? Is this our mentality now? Draco, my dude, where have you been? Where have you been? Like the density of low information voters, like not just in America, but just broadly, it's like millions and millions of people vote on clips. Like the public at large has a very short attention span. They don't take into consideration, you know, events from 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago when they're voting. They vote based off of emotion, what they feel in the now, and on the latest clip that they saw on TikTok. This happens all the time. It's not my mentality. Like I don't agree. But yes, of course people vote off of clips. Of course they do.
Yeah, and imagine clipping that, you know, he says absolutely, like fade to black. What was it? Curb Your Enthusiasm music starts, you know?
Yeah, Lior is saying YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels are the most consumed media now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, universal suffrage was a mistake. That's my line.
Yes.
So you're absolutely opposed to that?
Yeah, I don't want to
So
put
you'd rather have a
windmills in
pipeline
Lake Michigan.
than you'd
Do
rather
you?
have windmills.
I don't think the people in
Well, I don't
Michigan
want a
want that,
pipeline in Lake
Abdul.
Michigan, and right now we
If
have
you're
one of
running
those.
on that, that's not going to
Jesse,
go
look,
over
we
too
have a
well.
pipeline. No. I mean, Jesse, look, we can have a conversation if you want to. You want to keep cutting me off. We could keep doing that too.
So see, Abdul actually took the absolutely against being lowering the cost of energy and increasing jobs. That's what
exactly.
Even though that's not what he meant. Yep. So he ran with it. Yeah.
And twisted
But you told me
it.
we're going to have a
Exactly.
good conversation. I just want to talk about something.
Go ahead.
Right now, we have an oil pipeline in the Great Lakes. If that oil pipeline were to burst, the consequences for our Great Lakes would be disastrous. Now, you're telling me that you'd rather have a situation where that happened than a windmill? That really is so offensive to you?
No.
Now, those windmills are good
I'm saying
union
I don't
jobs.
want to
If
get
we
rid
built
of
more them,
fossil
we'd
fuels,
reduce
and
the
that's what
price
the
of
Green New
electricity.
Deal does. Let's move on. You want
And
to
I'm
so
not-
He
move
lost
on
that
to-
exchange. He
He
moved
did
on
again.
after he lost.
Yep.
Yes. Let's move on means that I can't defeat you here, so let's change the topic.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. I really wanted Jesse to win this, but I think so far 2-0, unfortunately. Guys, do you guys think that, because I know Jesse Waters has a lot of fans here, so I think a lot of people might get angry with us that we're saying this. Like, we're not Abdul fans here, guys, but so far I think he's 2-0.
Well, you have to keep in mind with Jesse Waters is being casted as a talking head based off his looks and his charisma, his ability to read a script well. Like news pundits don't necessarily get casted based off of their how good they are at debating, right? So being a master being a master debater.
I know why you rephrase that.
Yeah, but you know where I was going with that. But
yes,
so
yes.
he's not being hired for his talent when it comes to debating.
Yes.
He's being hired for his talent to be able to read a script, to look pretty on camera, and to be able to deliver the correct line and whatever. So like this is not his area of expertise. That's part of the problem here.
Yes. News journalists don't get hired for being master debaters, for sure.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. Right. Okay. So, I will read this. We have other super chats before this, but because this is relevant, I'm going to read it. Sean is saying, "I hate this, but this Durka appears validated in his self-confidence." Yep. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's not underestimate these people.
Yes.
Let's not confuse our enmity towards them with our assessment of their competence.
Exactly. And thank you, Shona. Thank you for the super chat. All right, let's continue.
saying that either. Look.
Rabdul, because this isn't a podcast. I got to sell ads in the breaks. You want to soak the rich. Let's listen to what you said about the taxes. Run it.
I also think we got to start taxing wealth for people who have over $100 million. I mean, at that point, like, what even are you going to do with more money?
What are you going to?
wealth tax has always failed. Like, this is not income tax, this is not investment tax, this is wealth tax. This means that people have to liquidate their assets. So many people will lose their jobs. This means people with giant assets and companies and things that are working and producing have to liquidate their assets to be able to pay taxes on that. This is one of the worst ideas possible. But anyways, let's see how Jesse responds to it.
Over $100 million. I mean, at that point, like, what even are you going to do with more money?
What are you going to do with more money? I mean, whatever I want.
I mean, Jesse, I don't know how much you make.
I'm
Look, I don't know how much
not
you
a
make, but
billion.
I think I'd rather have. Well, yeah, look, so that's exactly it, right? The question ultimately is, do you want to drive on good roads, or would you rather have a billionaire make a second billion? That's what Mike Rock.
A billionaire making a second billion produces more roads. Where do you think the money to make that road comes from? Like, guys, the billionaire who's making another billion, why do you think he was successful at making another billion? Because he found how to be more productive. He found the secrets to producing more wealth. He hacked the secrets to wealth generation. So don't stop him, because it's his methods of wealth generation that eventually produces enough revenue for the government to build that goddamn road. If you just go take his wealth away from him, short term, the government will have more money. Longer term, you have killed wealth generation in your society. You need that billionaire to keep doing what if he made his first 1 billion, that means that he has found a way to make your society more prosperous. So don't get in his way. You should want him to make his second, third, fourth, and fifth billion, because he's increasing, he's hiring. You know what he has to do to make his second billion? He has to hire people. He has to hire people that now will have more income that you can tax to build those roads.
This is a missed opportunity for Jesse Waters, because El Said comes from a privileged background. This is a guy who got a freaking Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford University. His parents are independently wealthy, are they not? You know, like Rhodes Scholar, Soros money paying for his education and for his campaign. Like, I mean, Jesse could have easily turned this back on him. Like, hey, aren't you a trust fund baby? You've never had a real job in an entire life. His whole career has been in the public sector.
No, but his point is that I'm talking about people way above us. So when he's asking Jesse Waters how much you're making, his point is, and this works with his audience, right? That Jesse, I'm talking about people that are so above us that it's not going to affect me or you. Okay, I'm not talking about millionaires. I'm not even talking about people who have hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm talking about billionaires. I'm talking about people who see people with $300 million as a poor person. That's what I'm talking about. And he's trying to make the point to his audience that works a lot with his audience, that people who are billionaires, they're not even going to feel this. Like, we shouldn't feel like these people try to make the narrative and like, why are you trying to defend the billionaires? Their lifestyle is not even going to be affected. Somebody who has $10 billion, if I take $1 billion away from him, nothing about his life is going to change. So why are you guys sympathizing with the people who I'm affecting? They're not even going to feel the money that I'm going to take away from them. And that's misunderstanding the point. Because they think that we have so much sympathy for poor rich people and trying to save them. That's not the argument here. We're not saying like, oh my God, this poor Billy, this guy has only 100 mentions and I want him to have like 200 mentions. That's not the point. The point is that that person is a wealth generation machine. And they will that they will create wealth more than you.
Oh,
right?
Armin.
Let me make this point, that the whole idea of taking from wealth generation mechanisms, from wealth generation engines, taking away from that and giving it to areas in society where it doesn't produce that wealth, eventually will reduce wealth for everybody. Short term, the people who are not generating wealth will see a short boost in their wealth, short term. But longer term, everybody is going to be poorer if you make that shift. That's the point that people need to understand. This is not for saving rich people. This is for saving the methods and the paths towards more wealth for everyone. That's what this is about. But go on, Lisa.
Also to your point, here's a data point for you. According to Grok, the top 1% paid roughly $823 billion in federal income taxes. That's as much as the bottom 95% combined. By the way.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm back. How
also,
is it going so far?
Hi, Guy.
Good.
Jesse Waters is being dragged around by the nose by Abdul at the moment, unfortunately.
I should have been in this debate. You
should have. You should have. Missed opportunity.
So it's going well for Abdul, unfortunately, is what I'm
very well for Abdul.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. He's a master manipulator.
Master debater.
Master debater.
Yeah, can I just chime in on the wealth debate?
Yes.
So I think I agree with. I mean, I pretty much rubber stamp everything that Armin said. So including the part where Armin is saying that this is appealing to El Sayed's audience and to actually a lot of people who really don't understand economics, right? So and part of that misunderstanding is they assume that when he says, okay, I'm talking about people who have $1 billion or $100 million or whatever, and they don't. What are they going to do with another $2 billion? So that implies that money is just sitting in the bank account, right? It's just sitting there,
yes,
waiting for them to figure out what Bentley they want. All right, that is
such a good point.
Yeah, that is absolutely not
That's
what is going on.
That's what I say. They need to liquefy things. You need to make people lose their jobs. You need to sell factories. You need to sell
let me finish.
farms.
Let me finish, Armin.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all on the same side.
Yes.
I want to finish. So what I would say is, okay, the guy who has $100 million sitting in the bank account, trying to figure out which Bentley to buy next. Okay, that guy is not going to make another $100 million.
But that guy doesn't exist.
Well, I'm saying hypothetically, if he does, okay, if that person exists and he's waiting and he's trying to figure out which Bentley to buy next, okay, that guy is never going to get to 200 million because that's not what wealth creators do. Okay, they have to put their money in something productive. Otherwise, the money doesn't grow. Okay, so what El Sayed is saying, I want to take that money that's doing something productive and I want to put it into government. Okay, and the assumption is that we will do a better job of using it, but the evidence suggests the opposite. Okay, the evidence suggests the opposite. When the government uses it, they do a terrible job of using it. Okay, exactly. The services they provide are terrible. Okay, and this is exactly the problem. Okay, so it's entirely flipping what's really going on, and it works. It works because that's it operates on people's misunderstanding of economics, and they just assume that people with a lot of money just have it sitting in a bank account, and they just use it on largesse and luxury. And if you do that, you're destroying your own wealth. So what wealth creators do is they take that money and they put it into something productive. They have to do that. Yeah. So when he says that person doesn't need another 100 million, what he's totally misunderstanding is if that person wants 100 million, they have to put that another 100 million. They have to put that 100 million into something productive.
Well, to be fair, if you have billions of dollars, you probably will have millions in cash sitting there, or not cash, like liquid assets, like treasury bills or something that could be liquid, because you want to make sure that if there an opportunity comes for an investment, that you have access to liquid assets that you could. because you never know what's the next best opportunity to come. So there will be like, I don't know, 3%, 2%, 5%, sometimes higher that you just keep in cash or something very resembling that.
Yes, but what
Just
I'm saying is that the pursuit of the pursuit of more wealth is not a function of your largesse on luxury items.
Yes.
Okay, that's not what it is.
Exactly.
The pursuit of more wealth is using that money, the wealth that you have, effectively and productively. If you do that, then you are able to get more money, and if you don't do that, you're going to lose. So that's why
these people's idea of rich people is like I don't know what's his name, the duck
Scrooge
which
McDuck
had the vault.
Yeah,
Scrooge McDuck, which had
swimming
like
in a
vault
pool of gold. Yeah,
and it's just sitting there. You just could go and just take it. Yeah, so it's crazy.
Yeah, actually, sitting on a pile of gold is probably better than having it cash in a bank account. By the way, so.
That is true. That is true. Shana is saying Abdul is lying straight up. A wealth tax will hurt everyone in the middle class. Yes, I mean it has been tried so many times, and it has failed every single time. Every single time. Like these people don't care about empirical evidence.
Can I just jump? Can you show Shauna's comment again?
Yep. Okay. Yep. I'll bring it right up. Go ahead, but let me just quickly find it. Yeah, there you go. On it. Yeah.
Okay. So one thing I heard. I forget where it was. One of the Scandinavian countries. Oh, I think it was Sweden. So I just heard one of the Scandinavian countries that the highest tax bracket. Okay, the highest tax bracket is people who make about 66,000 a year. Okay, so everybody who makes 66,000 and above, okay, are in the highest tax bracket.
Wait.
So
no, the top 50%. That's 53,008 and above. Top 25%. Oh wait, no. I'm looking at a graph for a chart for earners. You're talking about the tax bracket specifically. Never mind. Proceed.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm looking at the wrong chart. I apologize.
Okay, and actually, I don't know the country. This is something I heard. I have to identify it. So, but anyway, the point is that there are countries with large welfare states. Okay, there are countries with high welfare spending, and the way that they make it work. I mean, I don't think it really works, and they don't think it really works. But it turns out that it's necessary to tax heavily well into the middle class. You cannot just tax billionaires and support these social programs. You can't do it. So whenever they're talking about this, it's a misdirection, right? It just doesn't work. Based on the numbers, in order for them to support the kind of social programs that they want, they're going to have to tax people like well into the middle class. Okay, and they won't say that because it's not popular, right? So this is a kind of misdirection, and you all have to sort of watch out for it. Okay, they're not going to do it by taxing billionaires. They're not going to do it. Okay, this is just something that they say rhetorically, but the intent. And the only way that it's going to work is that for them to tax a lot more. Everybody else, what Elisa was talking about, as far as like the how much does the top 5% or how much do billionaires pay in taxes versus everybody else, right? What she's talking about is because we have an extremely progressive tax system. Okay, extremely progressive tax system. And they're just saying like, let's make it more progressive, but that's not going to work. It's not going to work if they make it more progressive. In fact, in order for it to work, they're going to have to make it less progressive. They're going to have to tax much, much deeper into the middle class in order to. I mean, it still won't work. By the way, it still won't work. But I'm just saying this is a lie that they're perpetrating. They are lying about this, and they're lying about this because it's popular to say, hey, like those guys with too many Bentleys, they don't need another Bentley, right? And that it should go to healthcare or whatever. And that's just complete bullshit. So just beware of that.
And Stuart was making a good point in the chat, and their assets will not be worth the same in your hands, right? Their factories, their farms, whatever they have in your hands, they will be worth a lot less because you will ruin them. Okay, let's continue with this.
Wants. That's what Donald Trump wants. Apparently, that's what you want. I think the people in Michigan want something different. They want good roads and good schools.
Wait, we have to back up so we get the full context.
Okay, let's back up to get the full context here, right?
Do with more money?
Even start taxing wealth for people who have over $100 million. I mean, at that point, like, what even are you going to do with more money?
What are you going to do with more money? whatever I want.
I mean, Jesse, I don't know how much you make. Look, I don't know how much
not
you
a
make, but
billion.
I think I'd rather have. Well, yeah, look, so that's exactly it, right? The question ultimately is, do you want to drive on good roads, or would you rather have a billionaire make a second billion? That's what Mike Rogers wants. That's what Donald Trump wants. Apparently, that's what you want. I think the people of Michigan want something different. They want good roads and good schools.
So you're saying, Beyonce, who just became a billionaire, she has to break you off something every year? She has to pay the politicians.
It's not me. It's the
So Jesse is not doing a very good job because he's
No,
not
this is
pointing
not good.
out what's wrong with it. Like the audience would be like, yeah, like get some of her money to build the roads. Like, why is that example? Like, he's smiling, but he's not explaining I mean, I agree with Jesse Waters. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't do that. But unfortunately, to an average person, that sounds like, yeah, if she has $1 billion, take some of it and build the road.
American public.
Well, not only is it a incorrect, it's like there's no equivalency there. Like it's a false way of framing it. But in addition to that, Jesse is once again completely missing the point. Right? He's not bringing him back to the point he was trying to make.
Yeah. He's not challenging his policy ideas. Right, he's really not challenging them, and what the fuck does Beyonce have to do with any of this?
Right,
yeah.
It's a wild non sequitur.
You're like, oh my god, like Jesse is trying to protect, like Abdul is trying to protect the people with and build roads, and Jesse Waters is trying to protect Beyonce. That's what it looks like to the audience.
Yeah.
And look, Abdul, look at just 1 second. Abdul recognizes that this looks good for him.
Good roads and good schools.
So you're saying Beyonce, who just
Look at
became a
Abdul's
billionaire, she has to break you off something every year?
Look, he's like, yeah, this is actually going to work for me. Like, yeah, I agree that she should, because he knows how this plays with the audience, right? Mm-hmm. Look at his face. He's like, this is such a win for me. Abdul is thinking.
Yeah.
She has to pay the politicians.
It's not me. It's the American public.
You're
Beyonce,
the one that wants the money
to be able to contribute back to the public schools that she went to.
So Jesse is not making arguments.
No.
Like, he's laughing at him. Yeah, this is not a good performance.
I think she'd be happy to invest in good roads in her community. I think she'd be happy to pay a little bit more so that everybody had a little bit more.
You're reaching a little.
Look, he's like Abdul is saying people want having a good community and good roads, and Jesse is laughing at it. So to an average audience, it looks like, okay, Jesse doesn't care about people having good communities and good roads. He just wants Beyonce to keep her $1 billion.
Right.
It's not a good look.
Yeah. You know what Jesse could have done? What he could have done is asked him, how are your policies going to put more money in the pockets of middle-class Americans?
Well, yeah. So this is the issue. Like they don't want to talk. I mean, in this particular example, okay, El Sayed is doing a better job of talking about policy than Waters. Okay, what basically El Sayed is saying, look, I support good roads and good schools. Okay, and this is what my ambition is, to improve the roads and improve the schools. And Jesse Waters is saying, I support Beyonce's largesse.
Yeah,
okay?
like
this is the
very,
fucking. Yeah,
it's tone deaf. It's very tone deaf. Yeah, to your point.
Yeah, and so this is extremely irritating to me, because my issue. I mean, I have many many issues with El Sayed. All right, but among my many issues with El Sayed is that I don't think his policies lead to good roads and good schools. I think they do the opposite.
Exactly.
Right? And that's the debate that I want to have.
Right.
Because I want good roads. I want good roads and good schools. This is important to me. And the issue is, how do we get there? I do not give a damn about Beyonce.
Yes.
Okay. I care about good roads and good schools, and it's important that we have the right policies to deliver good roads and good schools. And I don't think El Sayed's policies are right. I think that they're wrong. I don't think that they deliver good roads and good schools, and this is exactly why I oppose him, among other things.
It's even worse. It's even worse because remember, this is Fox News, and you're going to bring up Beyonce. Of all the celebrities that you could have used as an example for this non sequitur, let's talk about Beyonce on Fox News channel. Like it plays even worse with this audience.
Let me tell you what I would say in if I was Jesse Waters and I were doing this debate. This is the one line I would use. I would say, Abdul, A society that produces more billionaires produces better roads every fucking time.
Amen, brother.
This is the line. A society that produces more billionaires produces better roads. That would kill it. That would be the line that would kill it.
That's a really good gotcha line. And also, like, that's the other problem with Jesse. Jesse, he keeps trying to go for the gotcha lines. Like, it's almost as if he's in this headspace where he thinks that he's reading off his script, like he does on a nightly basis, right? So he keeps on going for the gotcha lines, but they're either bad or off topic or miss the point completely or all of the above.
Yeah. He's
I will
looking. He
also-
just
I
looks like
will
he's getting
say-
played here.
I would also say, go look at other societies that try to do what you are trying to do. Do they have better roads? Do they have better roads? Go look at every
Great.
society.
Sorry, I have
that
to
try
go
do
again.
what you're doing.
Probably not gonna be back
Okay.
this time.
All right, bye, guy.
You just got
Okay,
here.
bye, guy. Yes,
Yeah,
bye,
but my
guy.
daughter woke up and I have to.
Bye,
I'm
guy.
sorry.
Yeah,
Was it
okay.
my yelling?
Right.
I'm sorry.
You're in the headphones.
we were all yelling
Uh,
so much. We woke up guy's daughter.
Sorry.
All right. See you guys tomorrow, hopefully.
See you tomorrow.
Although I'll be late tomorrow. But yeah, I'll
Okay.
join like in the middle. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, guy.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that's actually a good point that to make every time. Like, you know, when you're like, I want this, I want this, I want this. Like, okay, let's look at the fucking record. Let's look at every every single country that tried to achieve the things that you're trying to achieve using the methods that you're trying to achieve them. Has that worked out for them? And the answer is no.
Yeah. So by the way, they're probably going to say, Scandinavia, right? So that's going to be their answer to that. But I would just this is the point that I'm making, is that it's not because of the billionaires. It's because they tax everybody.
Scandinavian countries are capitalistic countries. They have actually less regulations than the United States when it comes to the markets.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that the high welfare spending that happens in Scandinavia is a result of having a very regressive tax system. We have an extremely progressive tax system. You know, I'm not really against a regressive tax system, by the way. I don't necessarily think that progressive taxes are good. But the point is that this is a lie. Okay, there's a lie that you can tax the billionaires and deliver that. That's actually not what works.
All right. Sarah is saying, somebody's complaining about me. Sarah is saying, can you speak a little louder, please, Armin? Wait, was that? Okay, somebody love Armin. Okay, so we have some fans. Okay.
We love the Armin rants. We do.
Thank you.
I think she'd be happy to invest in good roads in her community. I think she'd be happy to pay a little bit more so that everybody had a little bit more.
You're
I think
reaching a
it's
little
an
deep
insane
into
thing
the
to be
pockets,
defending
Abdul.
billionaires from your channel, Jesse. That's a crazy thing. I thought you were for. I'm just saying. Look, at the end of the day, I thought you were for the everyday man. Like, if you're for billionaires more than you're for every other person, well, you and I are just going to disagree.
No, I just think I have the right to the fruits of my own labor. That's America. It's not.
See, this is, oh my God.
It's such a weak. Oh.
No, you know, you should show, because people are like, okay, so you don't care about the everyday man.
Yeah.
You just care about these. You care about, like, the way that Jesse is talking. The average American will listen to that. Like, okay, so you have these principles that you abide by, regardless of the consequences of your principles on the everyday man.
Right.
You have to demonstrate how your principles actually help the everyday man even more.
Yeah.
Than his methods.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just say this. You know what Jesse Waters is saying right now? What he's doing? He's doing Marie Antoinette. Let them eat cake. Okay. Now, this is my issue. I love America. I want America to be prosperous. I want America to have good schools and good roads. You know, and that's what I want. But what Jesse Waters is saying is he's not saying that at all. He's saying fuck them. You know, if you don't have money, that's fuck you. I don't care. You know, and I hate that. I hate that because I actually think that what El Sayed is promoting, the policies he's promoting, are more likely to lead to more starvation, worse schools, worse roads, more crime, and more immiseration of the American people. And this is the debate that I want to have. Okay, it's not because of let them eat cake. No, I care about what they eat. I care about the schools that they go to. I care about the safety of their communities and public safety. I care about all those things. And this is exactly the reason why I oppose El Sayed. Jesse Waters is not saying that at all. He's saying the opposite. He's saying, I don't give a fuck about them. I care more about Beyonce.
No, you know what makes it worse? What makes it worse is I don't think that's what Jesse is saying, but that's what the audience will hear.
Yeah. Well, he's not saying what I'm saying, Elisa.
No.
Okay,
no,
and so
no.
I'm interpreting it right now as him say he's saying let them eat cake.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Auntie K saying,
I should clarify. Sorry,
later with that. So guys, we're swearing, and Auntie K doesn't like that. She's saying I must leave because of the. Do you guys is that something that you guys want us to not do? Sometimes when we get passionate, we use like the F-bomb,
more colorful language.
More colorful language. Is that something? Let us know in the chat if you guys want us to not do that. Or we have a lot of passion about the butter talk.
Sorry,
no.
I can be more conscious about reeling in the F-bombs. I can try. I make no promises.
No, I don't know if most people want us to do that or not, because some people think that actually that makes it more better.
You should make a poll, Armin. Make a poll in the chat.
Yeah. At some point we will, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't want to alienate Auntie K.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't need to use those words to make my point. It just kind of comes out of me naturally.
But it sounds more. But I like it when you use it because it just sounds more like you. It looks like you really care.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I use it for emphasis, and it comes out of me naturally because it's just the way I talk. But I will accept the criticism that I don't need to do it, and if it is really distracting.
No, but let's wait on it and see what other people say as well. Like, don't make a quick decision because maybe this actually enhances it. Yeah,
I'm a lot better than I used to be. I was active duty Army for 6 years, so there was a point where pretty much every other word out of my mouth was an F-bomb or some other swear word. It was just sprinkled throughout there. But now I've pulled back a lot. I've gotten so much better. And now normally when I swear, it's either when I'm really excited, I'm like hyper excited or passionate about something, usually.
Yeah, at times it's needed. Like, as long as we're not doing it all the time, I think it's good to just, don't hold back if you really are feeling it. Anyways, let's continue just a little bit more.
Communist, what you're talking about.
No, the problem
Let
with
me
it,
ask
Jesse,
you
is
about socialized health care.
Billionaires don't make money. And let me just answer the question.
Sure.
No. Let me go back to that.
Go ahead.
Billionaires don't make their money off of their labor. That, I think, is where you head off. Billionaires that make their money off their money. So if you have $1 billion,
billionaires make their money off of taking risk and making good decisions.
Wait, go back.
And honestly,
what did he
say? Billionaires don't make their money off of their labor. They make their money off of their money. This is a communist take, right? They're basically dividing the world into laborers and capitalists. Basically, the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. I always have a hard time pronouncing
proletariat.
Say it again.
Proletariat.
Proletariat. Proletariat, yes. So the working class and the owning class, basically, and that's what he's trying to dismiss wealth generation that comes from investment as not important. When he says they make money off of their money, that the actual he's changing the framing, and he's a sneaky mother tucker. What he's doing is changing the word of investment to money, okay? Because it's not money. People don't make money off of their money because money doesn't just you can't just put money there and watch it grow. Money doesn't work like that. For money to actually grow, it has to be investment
in something.
Right? And for something to be an investment, it's not just money anymore. Okay, it's you putting your wealth into something that you decided has a chance of generating wealth, and if you're wrong, you will lose it. And most people are not comfortable doing that, right? And for you to be able to decide whether or not this is the right decision, you have to go do a lot of work to figure this out, to see if you're putting money in the right places. It's not like if I have a lot of money, I just put it there and then it just magically grows exponentially. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you're
If
taking
you have
a
money-
huge risk. Also, Armin, we're 2 minutes
You
away
have
from
to
the
no, no,
3 hour mark.
no. Say what? Let me finish my point, okay? For you to become a billionaire, right? You have to go and work your ass off. You're talking about an entrepreneur. You're talking about entrepreneurs, and many people who are billionaires didn't start off being billionaires. Many people who are billionaires decided to leave a safe, secure 9-to-5 job and risk everything for the sake of something bigger. And a lot of people see the end result when they're a billionaire. They don't see the amount of work that they had to go do that every single day and night, put effort into figuring out, making a business work, managing everything, becoming every person in the company. These people had to eat dirt. Many of these people had to eat dirt to figure out if this will work or not. And it's not an easy job. These people are not normal people. These people are not normal people. These people do the things that most people are uncomfortable doing. And they go through failure after failure after failure, bankruptcy after bankruptcy, until something works. And for every person that ended up making it work, there are thousands of them that didn't get to that finish line, and just when nobody's talking about them because they went fully bankrupt. For every entrepreneur that eventually made hundreds of millions of dollars, there's an army of tens of thousands of people that tried the same thing, and now they have lost everything. They have lost their wealth, they have lost their houses, they have lost their family. And that person that decided, hold on, no, that person, like me, don't distract me. This is important. Please don't distract me.
Keep going.
That person, that one person that eventually made it, saw all the other people that died trying and decided to take the chance anyways. When you say money just makes money, you don't understand the risk that associated with trying to become an entrepreneur, a business owner, or an investor. It's easier to become a laborer, to just work for somebody to have a framework for you, to create a structure for you, to tell you, you come in the morning, you do these things, you take a paycheck, you go home, and then you have a retirement fund. Everything is set for you. Everything is decided for you. You just do the job. You learn the job, then you go and do it. For somebody to come and say, I want to produce something new. I want to risk my life. I want to risk my future. I want to risk my family. I want to risk everything to try to actually create something from scratch, to make a business work. That person, you see the ones who made it. You don't see all the other ones who failed. We want to reward people like that, because given the chance, if you fail, you lose everything. Then the reward for making it has to be so high for more people to actually try doing that. You have to demonstrate to your society that if you do that, the upside potential is so high, or else people wouldn't try it, because the chances of failure is bigger than succeeding. You have to demonstrate that if you make it, you're going to make it big, because you need entrepreneurs, you need business owners, you need investors. The society will not function without them. You need to have a way for people to be able to get money in exchange of their labor, but you also need to provide a huge reward for people who want to choose a different path. And that's how a society works. That's what you want. And to dismiss the people who have chosen that path as not worthy and not contributing to society means that you have no idea how the economy works. You have no idea how anything works. Anyway, sorry, I went for long.
No, listen, I admire your commitment to the point. You're like, I have a point, God damn it. I'm going to make my point. You will not stop me. I admire that. I do. I was trying to reiterate the warning that was in chat earlier about how we're now over the 3-hour mark, and normally you're concerned about that, but I was just trying to help. I promise. I wasn't trying to be rude.
I know.
I swear.
I know, but this was a big, and I have to go because I have to be on the news in a few minutes.
Okay.
And we did get a super chat by I don't know how to pronounce it. Help me out.
Asaf Elron.
Asaf Elron. Asaf Elron saying, I need not to. It need not be private or government. Research the Israeli healthcare system, one of the best health results in the world for the money invested, mix of private and subsidized. I don't agree with that. And people talked about the Israeli healthcare system a lot with me, trying to say mix of private and government is the best result. That is not how you actually use empirical evidence, because that's one data point, and you haven't done A/B testing. If Israel's healthcare is really good, and you think that shows that a mix of private and government is the best system, you haven't demonstrated that Israel's healthcare would have even be better. Like, that's what you need to show me. Israel's healthcare could be really, really good, but for you to show me a mix of private and government is the best model, you have to also demonstrate to me that it couldn't have been much better if it was just private with government subsidizing the people who couldn't afford it. As good as Israel's healthcare is, you haven't demonstrated to me that it couldn't have been better if it was private with government subsidies with people who couldn't afford it. You haven't done. Maybe the reason why Israeli healthcare system is so good is not because it's a mix of private and government. Maybe it's because Israelis are just really good at healthcare. Maybe because they're very smart. Maybe it's because they're really good at technology. How do you know the cause of the healthcare being good is the private and government mix? Maybe it's not that. Maybe it would have been even better if it was the model I'm advocating for. And thank you so much for the super chat.
Can you answer this one from Everly Rose?
OAN with Chanel.
Oh, we love OAN.
And I have to go. Yes. No, Fansan, you're distraction. You're amazing. Okay, no, Fansan, no, I wasn't distracted by you. I was distracted by highlights.
It's my fault. It was my fault. I already apologized to Fansan.
But I have to go. But I have a thing. You guys want to continue without me? You guys or no? Or no, we could finish this. We could do this tomorrow.
Do we have the controls to do that?
No, you don't.
No. Okay. No.
Yeah,
so we'll finish tomorrow. We'll just pick up the video like.
Okay, we'll
later
pick it up
when we get
tomorrow.
a chance.
Okay, 6 minutes. We're in the 6 minute part. Okay, I really have to go. Guys, love you guys. We'll see you guys in 1 hour in our group discussion. It's open today, so Elisa will be there, Sid will be there. Come and talk to us. The link is in the description. We have group calls every day. Subscribe to Elisa's channel. Let me see. She got 58 subscribers already, so that's great.
Thank you so much, everybody, for subscribing. Appreciate it.
Subscribe to Guy's channel. The link is in the description. Subscribe to Monkey's channel. The link is in the description. Our group call, which is happening in 1 hour, we will be live streaming it on Liberty Politics YouTube channel. So make sure you are subscribed to Liberty Politics in case if you're not going to be in the group call, at least you get to watch it live with us. I really have to go. Sorry for rushing everybody. I love you guys. See you soon. See you in 1 hour. And until then, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukrainia, Cuba Libre, Taiwan GIO, long live America, Javid Shah, Payande Iran.